Hello everyone, Conor here. Just as a small disclaimer, some things we may talk about on the pod shouldn't be attempted or recreated. Remember to keep everything legal, keep it between the ages, and don't tear up the ground while you're on the pull.
You didn't know you were going out?
Well, I knew I was going out.
You thought you were going for dinner. And then Gemma had said to you, do you want to bring Michael and Becca? And you said, no, fuck you. Because on Wednesday night, you had suggested to me about going out, and I knew about your surprise birthday. And you were like, oh yeah, no, sure, we'll go out. We'll go out to the Fiddler's Rest or wherever on the 20th. Are you going out? Like, we'll all go out. And I was like, oh, fuck, I don't know if I'll go out. And you were like, you took the hump. And I was like...
Not that I took the hump, so I got back.
But you were got it.
No. So I get back, and it was the following day, so whatever day it was. And Gemma just goes... say at the weekend, me and you's just going to Dorman's, but should I say to Michael and Beck? And I went, when that selfish cunt couldn't even give me an answer about the 20th, let him go fuck himself.
Yeah, you tend to have wear your heart in your sleeve, but I nearly dropped you in it, so bit of context. Pre-podcast rambling. Conor's 30th was at the weekend past there. Well, it's actually your birthday tomorrow, isn't it?
12 o'clock. In 2 hours' time, I'm no longer 29.
We might still be recording at that stage, and if we hit 12 o'clock, you're getting called an old bastard in the podcast. But for now, you're still a young man. You're still a young fella, yeah, for an hour, 2 hours.
But I know.
I nearly landed the whole show on it on Wednesday night. With just you saying we should go out on the 20th, and I was like, I was about to say sure we're going out on Saturday, and then I was like, fuck.
You didn't. I didn't hear any of that.
No, I was about to say it and had to stop myself.
But
and then I went deadly awkward because I was that shocked that I'd nearly fucked the whole thing up.
The other thing though is, so me and Gemma were talking about it today, and she obviously told the whole story of when she had started to organise and all the things and all that there. And so it got to was it the Thursday? It was.
I don't know.
Thursday night. She goes to me, so Dorman's Saturday, so she had basically went to me, right, can you get ready up early, we'll go to Dorman's, we'll get some food, and then we'll go to Dorman's for a couple of drinks. And I was like, no bother, aye, that sounds grand. Then found brother, he had somewhere booked, so he was like, he's heading away for an away or whatever on Saturday night. I was grand, I was like, don't know, hopefully get read up reasonable time. Or try and get rid of it.
Forage harvester.
Aye, there's Glass Jaguar went up by earlier on.
I know they're whole crop. They're putting the whole crop of the digester in.
Aye, because there's a 942 fent drawn with an heron.
Yeah, big black heron.
No, that's a 724 that's drawn with it.
Oh, right.
But there's a 942.
Holy shit.
The tractor's as big as the tiller, like. But yes, so she said that on the Thursday night, and I was like, aye. So about that, Daz took this notion that we're doing silage now, and I was like, I don't know if Saturday is going to happen now. And she went,
We'll talk. We can link that back in a bit. Keep telling that story because that all intertwines in how my day planned.
Yeah. So, I know that's still Thursday night, and she was like, seriously, like, surely it'll be read up by then. And I was like,
grass waits for no man.
No, like, I don't know. And we were getting the silo ready on the Friday, and then at 4 o'clock there was an ocean took. Sure, we'll put in a lock the night. I was like, right, that's no bother. So got the pit ready. The first 2 loads arrived, and we hadn't even put half ready yet. So obviously mad rush, and then I was like, I'll go and take the tether off. And just because the grass was so light, as my dad said, there's no real point. And to be fair, he was correct. For like 3 trillers going, allowed the shovel man bit of breathing space to get it away. So anyway, I was meant to, you obviously get into this in a minute or two, I was meant to arrive up to you, but then it went on to like 10 o'clock because they put another 20 acres in that they weren't.
Yeah.
So it was like, keep her lit. But then that was the Friday, and the Saturday came, and again I was like, so they're putting the rest of it in. I'm going to be rolling silo, and bear in mind, so Gemma had made me and my dad bite of breakfast, fry, and then got a message, my car won't start. And I was like, okay, went out, that's dead battery. Couldn't be a dead battery. It started like 2 days ago. I was like, dead battery. So charged battery.
2 days, right, okay, yeah.
Charged battery, that was all grand. So
So there's an AGM battery. Starts up.
Hers is a... Oh, that will be more expensive.
Oh, it's just like, a factor of 3 more expensive.
Anyway, so I'll cut this bit short. I was like, right, take the Golf. You're only going to fucking Tim or whatever. Yes. Found out, no, she wasn't going to Tim.
No.
She went into Antrim to get a few bits and bobs sorted.
Yes.
And then I
think she went to Dorman's as well.
So she had all that stuff done, and she rung me and she was like, "Oh, what are you at?" And I was like, "I'm rolling the pit." "Oh, you're not driving in and out in the lane?" And I was like, "No, sure, I'm rolling the pit." And I was like, "Where are you away to?" "See the car away." She was like, "I have to go and get something for the dinner." And I was like, "Sure, you were at the shop earlier on." "Look, I forgot." And do you know the way? Let's put it this way. You
were like, whatever.
You were like, "I forgot that.
Whatever.
That's grand." But I kept her lit. Stopped, ate dinner, and then get the cows. Now bear in mind at this stage, my old boy knew about all this carry on that was going on. He decided to start talking to Don and McCann for half an hour.
Yeah.
So it was one of those evenings where it was like everything was delaying you.
Yep. I know.
And it was very late.
Yep.
But anyway, your Friday night.
That was no, we'll get on to it. That was a pre-podcast ramble that went on a bit longer. We've started doing this thing where we talk about
You're
before.
spiking your hair again, lad.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say you need to kick me. We do this thing where we've started talking now to be a bit more candid before we pull in. I don't know if you've noticed that the last few episodes. And Conor's pre-podcast ramble has extended.
It's not I wouldn't say a ramble, but it's just...
It's the whole thing will tie in again.
Well, you'll tell
when we do it in
that,
chronological order. And yeah, you need to keep kicking me when I go to touch my hair. So, do you want to actually start us off?
Just how long to remember. It's been that long since we've done this.
It has. It's been probably not far. It's been two and a bit weeks anyway, 2 weeks.
That's fucking bananas.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks. Lots happened.
It has, yes. But anyway, hello everybody. What's the crack? You're listening to the I Agree Automotive Podcast by Limited Slip Differences.
Yo.
Where we talk everything from cars, tractors, cows, silage, anything culture.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm Conor and
I am Michael. What's the crack, folks?
I might sound like I'm half out of it.
I'm not
but
far
I have
behind
covered a silage pit today. And
Couldn't
I'll
get
just
much
say
more
this,
culture than that, like.
Daniel Johnson, fair play to him, came up and gave us a hand. And like I was saying to him, you're making me look bad because...
Just bowling through it?
Yes.
Aye.
And because of how busy this last 4 or 5 weeks has been, like I was throwing super singles up and rolling them up, obviously the ramp and the pit. My legs, my head was telling my legs to move. My legs were
just didn't work like they used to before.
Yes, it's amazing what happens whenever you go into your 20s, which haven't actually officially went out of yet.
And how long?
An hour and 51 minutes.
Hour and 51 minutes. You will now officially be an old man.
I know.
So enjoy it while it lasts. You're spending your dying moments in your 30s recording a podcast. How does that make you feel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? Actually, don't hurt my feelings. Let's move on.
Never. Do you want to know something? Never in my day did I ever think I'd be doing this.
No. Well. Yeah. Well. Aye. So the rambling then beforehand was we're talking about Conor's birthday, and Conor's birthday was a complete surprise, and we had that on Saturday night. So there's a series of events that all ties in leading up to Conor's birthday. More so in the tail end of the What's New section, but yeah. So how everything all kind of mingled and fitted in together, and the sides of everything. But you were saying but to finish off your end of things, then you were saying so your dad kind of held you back. Then you're saying it was late. I know it was late because I fucking landed to your birthday at 7 o'clock. Gemma told everyone to be there between 7 and 8, and I went, do you know what? Well, more so for Becca, because Becca hates being rushed.
Yeah.
But I was like, do you know what? We'll be there on time. We'll be the first ones there to gate everybody in. I think you showed up at 9.
That's the other bit. So, as much of a dick I sound now, and I said to Christina whenever we were there, I was like, so she said, we'll go to Dorman's now for a couple of nights. We can't go for food because it just, it's not going to work out. I was like, sure, we don't need to be at Dorman's for 9. Tonight. So I wasn't really in a rush to be honest.
You hadn't, but the thing is, the best bit about it all is we were all saying, like, you had no clue.
No. Do you want to know, actually, I'll tell the truth. It was the type of thing where the way events worked out.
It wouldn't have made sense to have had something.
So, Gemma threw me off because she said, right, me and you'll have something the weekend before. No bother.
Yeah.
And we'll maybe do something the Tuesday for your birthday. And the following week, say the ones basically about it. And I just go to
We
her.
talked about that. That was our plan, was to have you think that we were doing something on the 20th.
Yes. Because I go to her, I don't really want any fuss. I'm just reserved, all that carry on. So just, I would rather...
You say that, but you're telling the entire country to go meet and do something the 20th or the 21st.
I would just meet for a few drinks.
And the fella, you were all like, we should all go to the Fuller's Rest. But you said to me, you said to all, like so Paul Emerson and all them boys and all your uni ones. And I was like, it's not just one or two people here. Like, it was a brave old crowd. And then you'd have had Brona and Sinead and Claire and Fiona and all them ones would have all been landing down in the middle of it. Secretly, you did want a wee fuss. We talked about this.
Right.
You did want a wee fuss.
But the thing about it was...
You're not denying it, so...
there's no point. You'll just be like, no, you're wrong. But anyway, so say on... I never thought about it all day. And as bad as it sounds, as I was mounting the cows, I was like, I'm fucking knackered here. I can't half be fucked. If I just go out, like, I could be sitting down at a table half sleeping. Right.
Meanwhile, I was sitting at a table half sleeping waiting on you.
Well, at 7 o'clock you were.
Yeah, first one's on, like, yeah.
But anyway, so like, as I was driving over, I was like, this is going to go one of a couple of ways. Either this is actually going to be just me and Gemma. I thought that was highly unlikely at the time, right?
Did she not kind of spill the beans? No, you started to twag on.
Not even. Some told me that whenever she mentioned your name, that we'd go over and yourself and Beck would be there. So
you'd have been like, fuck that cunt anyway. I'll mind you.
Well, I was told by Gemma that you kind of took that a bit to heart, and I was like, well,
he rejected me.
It's not even that there. I was like, I made a bit of fucking effort for his 30th, and
it's just because it completely caught me off guard at the time as well.
No, but I was like, hey, okay, fucking get over it, because she had said to me on Sunday, oh, I think he maybe took that, maybe you need to say something to him, and I was like, I told him to his face that I called him a wank. A few drinks, and I was like, I don't really care what you think right now, but yeah, I did call you a wanker. And I said to Becca, I was like, fuck me, I'm turning around as if to say I'm going home to Becca, but I've heard her name that much. But I drive over, I thought either that or that, and then I was like, it's highly unlikely the night, but I could be going over here to something. That just entered my head.
Yeah.
I know the Gemma works. And it was, so we parked up, and my thoughts straight in the car park. She, at this point in time, was thinking, fuck, if he recognises any of their cars, right, that's fair enough.
Game over.
So I parked in the 3 first spaces I seen. Happy days. And then as she was walking
Dorman's
along,
in the Opera car park.
Aye,
Medellin car park. Yeah.
And then as she was walking over, she was like, I'm well nervous now.
And that was,
and then I was like
literally the...
It's not that the penny dropped. I was like, why would you be nervous going in the door? And so I was like, fucking right. So then I was like, right, if something is here that is going to like jump out and everybody go like, surprise and all that carry on, I was like, oh, go on you in first. And then whenever she walked over, I was like, all right, fair enough. And then seen my sisters and was like, and then I looked over and was like, oh, fuck it. All the ones I would go out with are here.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, class crack. But then me just going like, oh, I'm going to look like I'm not really reacting at all. But I was just like, hello. And then I was like, right, now my thoughts were, right, I need to acknowledge everybody that's key.
We were watching you going bright red. as you walked in. I said to McKenna, I goes, I bet you he's going the colour of your shirt. And he just looked and he went and back. I was like, he's definitely getting redder.
Yes. Like I walked in and obviously the couple of balloons and all were sitting in the corner. Didn't even notice them.
I forgot that you had cake and everything, like.
So did I. I didn't even realise I had any of that.
'Cause you just walked up, got a Copperberg, and then that was that. And then it was just kind of you mingling for the rest of the night, like.
For I said, perfect night for me is literally when it drinks and then smoking area for a yarn. That you can hear
fuck, I love a smoking area, like.
That was basically the.
I could have spent that entire night in the smoking area.
I more or less did.
I was more than happy to talk to Paul Emerson about turbos and 7.810s, like.
And the fact that they hit the bonnet and all. But yeah, no, to be honest with you, have to give it to her. Perfect night out.
Yeah, she done a really good job. But even like,
it was very simple and all the rest. I just said to her whenever everyone's over, we were home and all. She was like, "Well, what do you think?" And I was like, "Perfect. You nailed it."
So when I landed down in, I landed yours on the Friday.
Aye.
Briefly, that was to like kind of scope out the crack. Because you had said you were grass, so I went down to be like, right, what way he's going to do this? Like, what's the plan? You didn't even know yourselves.
Daddy goes to me, "You have fucking Scully landing again."
Oh, I was landing left my sides. I got my sides off running. No.
But he was like, because at this stage we knew there was fuck all on it, and like it was going to be put in a couple of hours. And he was like, "So you're right down." And he was like, "Fuck me there, Scully. You have him now down." And I was like, "No, Michael's just landing." I think. Seeing the trailer was like, he's probably left his side from Devlin's, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. But then I was doing that and it worked out well because I was like, I'll call in here and see what the crack is. You were like, oh, we were going to be at grass, and I was like, I rung Gemma on the road out the way and goes, Gemma, what's happening here? Like, they've just said they're at silage. And she was like, I know, but Paddy knows it's fine. And I was like, are you sure? I was like, because this could go one or two ways. And she was like, no, it's fine. And then you'd said you're putting in a bet that night, and I was like, right, okay. And then the next thing you were like, oh, we're not putting any. Then on Saturday you weren't putting them in, and then you were putting it in, then you weren't putting it in. And I said to Gemma again, like I was texting Gemma going like, what's happening here? Like, are we like, is this definitely happening and all this here? And reading in the group chat going, because Adam McCartney then wrote down going, oh, like Conor's at silage, like, are you definitely going to be able to go to this, even though he wasn't there, because I think he ended up signing up for overtime and all that, so fair enough. But it was like, Conor's at grass, and I was like, fuck, are they at it again? Because I hadn't been checking my phone that morning.
Yeah.
And I messaged Gemma again, was like, here, look, like, what's happening? And she's like, no, it's still fine. I was like, you're bound to be one stressed out.
I'd had all that stress then, obviously our car decided to, but it's funny, because I just had said to that, look, I'm meant to be going away early. I need away early, basically. And it's funny. See, the Sunday evening, we were read up for 7.
You were read up fairly early because I landed in the lifties.
I was read up in the house having a yarn with 2 nieces they were down having a walk in Tim or something. And it's funny, if it had been the night before, because there was nobody there for Dad to spend half an hour talking to. And he had the cows and all in, and I was finished.
He was done. He was talking to what do you call your vet?
James.
He was done talking to James.
I know that was everything was finished though.
Oh well, yeah.
So like, if it had been the night before, if Dorman's had been on the Sunday, I would have been in Dorman's for 8 no ball.
Yeah. Oh, it's just the way it worked.
Do you know the only problem with that Saturday night? Like, an hour into it was 10:30, and just the night went, you know.
For you, I don't mean to put this in a bad way, because I was there so early.
It was very long.
Like, by the time it got to 1 o'clock, like, I'd been in there 6 hours.
You were like,
you were saying, like, well, you were like, oh, well, we go into secrets, and I was like, I mean, I wouldn't back. I was just like, oh. And I had Conor Kelly and Chrissy McKenna with me, and I was like, well, they're sort of stuck with me, like. And not throwing back under the bus, but also said I would throw under the bus, because she was like, oh, we've been here for 6 hours. She's like, I'm fucking wrecked.
No, to be fair,
she was wrecked from the tractor run. We'll talk about that in a bit, but she was wrecked from the tractor run.
I was also supposed to be there.
She's bounced about in the passenger seat of a 11090 all day. It's not good crack.
Straight away, sure, I said, no offence is being taken if you just want to go home.
No. But I was grand. Then I ended up sitting.
Secrets, if I thought Dormans had went fast, Secrets just,
Yeah.
you know.
I was kind of like, by the time you're in and you even get set up, like you're out again. They'd be throwing you to 10 to 2, like, and I was
10 past 2.
Oh really? I thought it was 10 to 2 because they were already, like, I think it was 1:03 when we left, like, and then, but we'll wind it all back. So it's been a very eventful 2 weeks. It's been absolutely mega busy.
So the way June worked out, there was something on every weekend.
Every weekend.
And then On the Pill was on after, and it was first weekend in July. And all I will say is, just on my behalf, see after On the Pill. So the Wednesday or Thursday, I can't remember what was happening, but I barely slept for whatever reason. The Friday night after we got back from On the Pill,
sure, we're hardly no more in bed than we were up again.
Slept for 2 hours, and then the night after, on like that Saturday night, I've never blacked out like at my bed.
I got a good night's sleep after that too.
And see, since then, I could sleep with a clothesline at the moment.
So basically there was the mad rush to get, so from the last 2 weeks so we recorded the first half of the podcast on the Sunday with Shay Lahern, and that was a late night. So
we recorded the video for the YouTube, or we recorded the commentary for the YouTube video
during the day.
It took me at least half an hour to 40 minutes.
You can actually hear you waking up around 37 minutes in the video.
Like, because whenever we were having a bit of a go at the narration beforehand, I was just being me through the podcast, and I was fucking up your timings.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, there's whatever, and you were like, shut up. Shut up.
But it just, me and you'd never done anything like that before.
The only part of the half an hour that I think I got in was, that was more or less it. Was like, there's a chaser. It's like, aye. Look at the real good driving. Yeah.
That video actually done very well for us.
Oh, it did,
that
surely.
video was hell to put out. So I can't remember if I talked about it in the last podcast or whether I did or not.
May as well talk about it again for it's been that long anyway.
I feel like I did, but basically, like, to get that video out was absolutely fucking insanity, because I had no longer landed home from the Donegal rally and I was straight to Paris.
Yeah.
For work. And I didn't get a chance to get everything uploaded. I was trying to upload through hotel Wi-Fi and airport Wi-Fi, which is really, really slow. And then Juan's messaging going like, any word of these videos, like, and not being dicks about it, just being like, oh, where are these videos? I would love to see videos. And then in my head, I was like, I need to get these videos up while it's still a hot topic, like while it's still fresh, you know, while everything's going. Probably this, but we didn't talk about it so much. But it was like, I need to get these videos up, like, and like, it's, you know, if I don't get these videos up, it's like, we're gonna miss that gap. Yeah. Because I was like, this is the time for us to really explode the podcast. And to be fair, like, everything did take off over the head of that video. That video, trying to get that video edited and out in time, fucking killed me. And then it got to, but then we had no longer finished that. That was the Sunday we recorded. Then we were up with Shay then on the Sunday night.
That finished at 12:30, near 1.
Then we recorded on the Monday night.
Aye.
And it was 2:00.
I was in bed at 2:30, 2:45.
So then that month, so like we were recording that Monday night, like that week, I was floored, and so were you. We were both absolutely wiped.
Don't know what I think it actually was. It was like Donegal rally. You had a couple of late nights. You're so fucked.
Yeah.
And run down.
I think your body was just trying to hold back and hold back and hold back, like, and then eventually it finally got a bit of a clean run after Donegal. I think your body just went, fuck you, you're done now, like. Because we had that free weekend.
The two of us just died.
Like, we were, like, so then that week, we were both absolutely fucked. You can probably hear it in the last podcast, especially in the Monday night. Me and you were both not well.
Well, the Saturday night, I was partying a bit out to Scooter and Ben Nicky. They were both very good in Belsonic. And then we ran like 2 jits, me and Sean, to the points. Essentially,
yeah,
it was in the head. You were like, oh my god, I'm like pure buzzing after like 8 pints. and got the points, and I was just like, I don't know if I need a boat or if I need a piss. You know, my body just went.
You weren't in good nick on the Sunday. Like when we did the first half, you were not in good shape. When we done the first recording,
wasn't mad hungover, just
wrecked.
Yeah,
wrecked, just absolutely shattered.
It seems whenever you're nearly 30, you're not hungover so much.
And you're dead to the world.
All basically, the time. Yeah.
But so then we recorded. Then we were up to 2:00 recording the Donegal Rally episode. And then I had then the Tuesday, the Wednesday, and the Thursday to get everything finalised, and that was a long episode.
Aye.
And I needed to get everything done by the Thursday. Plus, I'd promised Becca, like, look, we'll do something on Wednesday because we hadn't done anything in his lifetime. And I was like, no, we will do something this Wednesday because normally that's what we have our weeknight. And from Donegal and the Donegal prep and all the stuff before it, like, I never got a chance. So I was like, look, I need to do something.
Me and Gemma's weeknight that night was like, she kept joking with me, right? Her birthday month, oh, it's my birthday month, you know, basically I'm taking priority and like joking on that. I was like, it's my birthday month, and fucking like she threw on Love Island out for a light.
Aye, well, you would fall out watching that shit, like, but
I was getting into it. You know, it's obviously a show that is geared for drama.
Oh, 100%.
And it is absolutely wicked, some of the things the producers clearly do to get drama for good TV.
Yeah. To be fair,
no wonder people are fucked up coming out of that show.
If you could get into it, I can't deal with the drama. So I'm like, no, I don't want to watch that fabricated drama, but like, obviously it makes really good TV. Like
there's a wee girl in it, right? And not, I would say the girl is controlling, but it's more the fact that like she overreacts to fucking everything. So the fella that she is coupled up with, he's very into her, but if you were going out with one, your head be fucking turned. And obviously so many weeks into it, they divide the boys and girls up, and then they bring more boys and girls, and they separate the boys and girls into basically the original ones into a different villa. So
Casa del Mar.
Casa Amor. So basically in it. But then they have like the first night or two, there's like a challenge.
Chance to recouple and all that there, aye.
They play a game, and this wee girl was overreacting for it, like, the first person to kiss blah blah blah, or whoever you fancy, all that's jargon. So the fella, whoever she was coupled up with, had won it a couple of times, but it was with some other doll, and she was going, who the fuck is this doll? Who is this doll? She was going completely overreacting, but it made great TV for hilarious.
I just remember why I kind of stopped, and I remember watching it one time, and they were doing this thing where they were
so wild. I think it's Scouser accent.
Oh, I'll put your head away. But she was like, there was one.
Who's Emma?
Who's this man? And it was like, I remember it was a thing, and it showed like the episode and like the highlights for the next episode coming up, and it was this girl getting water tossed in her face, and I was like, oh shit, drama's getting serious. But then how it actually happened was, they were playing a game, and basically it was like, oh, if you think this person has such and such, you toss water in their face, and it wasn't dramatic at all.
Yes,
but the way they, and I was just like, do you know what, like, if there actually had been proper drama, I'd have been into this. But I was just like, no. Like after that, I was kind of like, I'm not into it. But we're not a Love Island podcast.
No, but funny enough, for two grown men, one about to turn 30 and the other 30.
Thanks. Yep.
Like Bridgerton.
Not a bad word to be mentioned about Bridgerton here. Like, fucking love Bridgerton.
Love Island.
Not the same, but love Bridgerton.
I still actually haven't watched season 3 yet.
Oh, we cleared it. We cleared the first 4 episodes. The first night to come out, and cleared the second 4 episodes.
But anyway, go on ahead. What you were talking about?
We were saying,
yes, we were both sick.
So we were both, but I was trying to get everything read up, and then I was like getting everything, doing real late nights, trying to get everything read up for On the Pull, because I knew as soon as I had to have everything done finito by the Thursday. Same as the Donegal Rally episode, it was Thursday, and if we didn't make Thursday, it just wasn't getting done.
Yeah.
So I was like, right. So there was all that pressure. Then we got to On the Pole. We will talk about On the Pole properly in a bit because it deserves its own segment. So we're going to do On the Pole part 1. So we'll slide past On the Pole to then, was it Sunday? We both conked out. And then on the Monday, I had my mental breakdown.
Yeah. The Sunday, I have never lay in the house, have dozing like it in my life as much. I was fucked.
Well, I'll take...
Because On the Pole on Saturday, I had to do everything in the evening time for my dad.
Yeah.
Got away.
So you'd everything, the pressure of On the Pole, then to get all that done.
Because I done, suppose like an Emmett Sherry, I went and bought enough Chinese to feed 10 people. And I went and bought 10 tins of cider. And after the third one, yes. Yeah, I had bought that much Chinese. Gemma was back after her weekend work or whatever. And she ate the rest of the Chinese. And yes, I died.
We were seeing Paul Smith, the comedian in Derry then.
Oh, yes.
He's very, very funny. He is ruthless. He is absolutely fucking the Scouse guy.
I have no idea who he is.
He is ruthless. You'll see videos. He tears. He's one of them ones that like tears the absolute front row apart.
Fair enough.
He
may have seen a video then of him, but I don't actually know who he is.
If I showed you a video, you'd know exactly who it was. We seen him. That man is off his fucking head. He is nuts.
And then Monday came, and
the video went out.
You decided, you're like, I'm going to quit everything.
This is where I want to clear the air, because now, to be fair, the amount of support I got was absolutely
unbelievable.
Correct. So, like, the amount of people messaging me saying, Michael, take your time, head up. But, like, I specifically said in the video, taking a break from TikTok.
Aye.
Specifically TikTok. The reason why was I was standing in the yard and I had a couple of things to do that night, and I was up, and there was a couple of other things that happened, and there's like, I've been getting messages from people throughout the week, and people have been dead on, but I was like, any more videos, like, can you do more YouTubes?
Basically, the screw was being screwed in all the time, or was being screwed out, and then the screw finally just came out, and it came to a head.
It just died. So, like, I was getting like, oh, you need to do more vlogs, and then I was like, and because I'm an inherent people pleaser, like, I am an absolute pleaser of people. Like, I am, like, I always love giving people like what they want. So if they're like, oh, you should do it, I'm like, all right, I'll try my best. And I like the idea of doing vlogs. Like, I kind of had notions of that anyway. I used to do vlogs and all back in the day, although, again, my staying power at that time wasn't great. Plus, it was the same, if I had kept the videos, it had been the same video of me going, why doesn't the Sierra work? Coming up next week, why doesn't the Sierra work? Like, that's what it would have been. So, I just had been getting videos from people going, or messages from people going, oh, you need to get more videos out, like, you need to be doing this, and did you take more videos from Donegal? We need more Donegal stuff, and all very positive, but I was just like, I can't cope with this pressure. I'd also been trying to I've got us set up now with our own, like, we have our own domain, so we've got limitedslipdifferences.com, that's now a thing. I was trying to get the online shop set up in the middle of it all, and as I said, I was deadly sick that week beforehand, and then I was up in the yard trying to sort a couple of things. A couple more things happened, obviously not going to talk about it in the pod, but personal things happened, and
everything came to a head.
Everything come to a head, and I was sitting stressing out, going like, I still need to be home. I'm behind, like 3 episodes behind on making TikToks, because we done the video for Donegal. I haven't got anything out in TikTok, and TikTok's our biggest like source of kind of like advertisement, so to speak, for the pod, because
you took a panic attack without taking a panic attack.
Pretty much, like, I just was sitting going, like, and it's at peak time of the year. Donegal's been on the Pole's been on. It's like probably one of the biggest car people events, and probably one of the biggest tractor people. I'm not going to say farm events, but tractor people, like people specifically like mad about machinery.
Yeah.
Like, on the Pole's a big deal as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, I have so much content.
I feel like you're hyperventilating at the minute.
Yeah. but like this is the first proper real chance I've had to talk about it. Like,
Fair enough, yes.
you know, like, and I was like sitting going like, I have all this content, I have so much here, and my head was just like, it just felt like there was a machine gun going like, and I was just like, fucking hell, like I have so much to do, but I also have so much to do with my own stuff with the car, and there's like stuff basically had got neglected around the farm for 6 weeks. All I had done was fucking edit videos and like run after stuff. Like, you know, it wasn't at no time. I heard a crack there. Fucking hell. Like every single night, it wasn't, I'm doing this because I want to, or, oh, let's try this. It was simply always playing catch up. Right, I got this finished. On to the next thing. Now what I want to do. So you'd work, farm, car, podcast, TikToks, everything just going. And I just was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. There's something just has to give. And I was like, I'm not going to give up the podcast, because the podcast is, well, where else am I going to get away to express my main character syndrome? Quite simply, like. But I was like, I don't mind sitting editing the podcast, but editing TikToks takes so long because I do the captions and I do all that stuff, and I try to make, even though they don't get the view count that in my head I feel they should, you know, it's still stuff that draws people in, and TikTok has played a massive part of the podcast, and that's no secret. Like I would say probably 60% of our listeners have come through TikTok. You know,
Yeah.
So like, I felt like I owed, even though people probably didn't even care, I felt like I owed an explanation as to why I was basically going to sort of hold back. Like, I haven't released a TikTok in probably 2.5 weeks now.
So I was, to be honest with you, still in the wind down from all the madness that had happened for a month. So we'll just say my side of it. I happened to just go on to, was it? You posted on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok.
Yes, TikTok first, and then done the other two after.
And then just went on Facebook and seen the notification. All right, Jesus, somebody's commenting one of the videos. And then I seen it, I was like, oh
shit.
no, I just went, all right, fuck. That's the first I'm hearing this.
Aye, because I never messaged you because that was only TikTok.
Yeah.
And I had specifically said, I'm taking a break from TikTok. But all I got was,
you know, had to be sit down and I was like, fuck me.
Aye. But that was one of them things I just done on impulse.
No.
Literally, it was just, I tell you, the machine gun on the head was just going.
No, I seen it and was like, fuck me, right, okay. Jeez, I better message this man.
But like, there was no point, like, even if I showed you the full raw video, you know, there was no mention of like anything against me and you or anything like that. Like, there was no hint of that whatsoever. Like, I was literally like, I'm still doing the podcast. I literally said, this isn't a video of me going, we're stopping the podcast. Like, we're not. Me and Conor are still going to be working away.
But again, this makes me sound even worse. But Gemma then was like, here, have you seen Michael? Like, are you like stopping something? Or I was like, no, I've only seen it too.
I know, I didn't even.
So it makes me sound like, yes, well, to clear other things up, with my lifestyle, I never have a chance to do anything really. The most thing I've done recently in regards to the background things,
shipping
out orders and getting that sorted. So I sound like a lazy fucker, and I would get it if people said that. And to be fair, I had a message or two myself from people messaging, obviously very highly appreciated. But realistically,
but you're a dairy farmer who is up first clip in the morning. Like, I have more free time, but I don't. You have more shall we say, you have more commitments. You have your working hours, and then you have your like evening commitment and morning commitment. Whereas I can be a bit more flexible with my commitments, but equally as busy. Like, because obviously I do all the stuff around here myself, fix all the car stuff myself, and do the podcast editing myself.
Well, the sort of thing that comes to Sunday morning, you can lie any you want. I wish, especially Sunday morning past.
Like, there's times I've felt bad, but like, because I've seen me maybe lying on, and you've been up at like 7 a.m. or 6:30, and you've sent me a Snapchat like first clip in the morning, and I'm like, fuck, I feel wild bad. But then, in the same token, I've been sending you Snapchats of me still editing at like 1:30 a.m.
Aye.
You know, so it's just like, so it's one of them things where I have more time to give the podcast, but it just was absolutely like it just. I put too much pressure on with Donegal. I put far too much pressure on.
Yeah, and I know. Well, it's probably gonna. If anybody whenever anybody hears this, they maybe think that it's surprising that I didn't know until the video went out. But at the same time,
no, I literally
99.9% of limited slip differences is Michael, and you could say that I am the friend that was there to facilitate it happening.
Brought in and had a camera forced under your chin.
More or less, like as you says to folk, like, sure, you were landing down anyway, might as well talk.
But as I said, I just bit my tongue. As I've said, like, people are gonna think this is a fucking domestic. Like, I can't do this without you. Like,
you're well,
there's no one else who's got the reliability and able to like do the same level of talking and can go back through the years and has the literal chemistry. So I can't do this without you. But it is me who takes the brunt of pretty much.
I'm sorry, gonna have to recouple.
But it is me that takes the brunt of absolutely everything else, and I am fine with that because I know what you have else going on. With like literally being a full-time, quite a large, like you've bumped up as well, numbers and everything too. Like,
unfortunately we have, yes, but
so it's kind of like I'm sitting there going like, fuck, I could do more help. But then I even said in the video, I was like, don't be messaging me going, I'll look after your videos and stuff for you. I was like, because I am hard work in that respect. Because,
well, put it this way, so Michael's fiance Becca was basically now. Before I have said, look, said to her, but behind your back going, does Michael ever like give out that I do fuck all? And she said, yeah, he does the odd time.
Yeah, 100%.
And then she was like, but the thing about it is, he then turns around and says, no, I would rather just do this because then, I don't want there to be any change in the way things are done because they work now.
The other thing as well is, they work. And I've seen you, like, even half the time we go to record, you're late because something's happening on the farm.
There's only ever been once I've been here before 8 o'clock, and that was the donkey, Roberts. Mm-hmm. And I got here at 7:30.
Must tell that story. I'll tell you that story later. I'll leave that to the end. But funny you mentioned him. So to clear the air, basically, no, we're not stopping the podcast. Absolutely not. We'll be still releasing.
Michael hopefully messaged me if he's going to make a big announcement again before he does make a big announcement.
I say it was just pure impulse, just literally breakdown mode, like pure catastrophe mode.
Another wee side thing though was at On the Pull, like I was heading home to milk, and I was wearing her hoodie.
William Muir. It was William Muir who spoke out to you.
Did I? Because he turned around, he was like, Michael, and I was like, no, Conor. He looked at me like going, he looked at me as if to say, who the fuck are you?
No, because he said he goes he's like a senior mate, and he's like running out by. He goes, but he seemed to be in a rush. I goes, that was Conor. I goes, I know he had to go home to milk cattle. That's the lad with the all the cases. And he was like, I don't think he'd have even known who I was. And I was like, oh no, if you'd have said
your name,
maybe not. Well, maybe not even so much the name, but like even if you'd have said the fleet of tractors, I was like, he would 100% have known who you were. I had chatted to a few listeners on the poll, but again, I'll pull that all through at the end. But yeah,
and a side note, it's okay to not be okay.
Correct. It's okay. The way I left it was, if I tried to keep doing everything, I would give up and there'd be no progress because I'd be just like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Whereas I hold back from TikTok and maybe the advertising and pushing and just focus on the bread and butter.
Yeah.
The podcast, and people literally were saying to me, "We'll still be here when you come back." I was like, "I'm not leaving." You know, like it was, but obviously really nice to hear those words, obviously, and I suppose like for me, the heart and soul is the podcast. So we might now maybe in terms of getting the name out there, might sort of maybe, don't want to say stagnate, that's not the right word. What's the word? Basically, you kind of sit kind of steady. Like just sort of...
Tail off?
Not tail off. Not peak. The word will come to me literally after the podcast finish. Jesus, Conor. The word will come to me basically
Don't
after...
put that in.
I'll see what I can do. Which means it's definitely going on. I can't... Fuck, the word has literally left me. But it was... it's just basically we'll sit...
Look, Michael's just not going to make a TikTok as often for a wee while till he...
Like, as I say, this is what I mean. Like, the last 2 weeks, I have got so much shit done. So, we'll move on from that. Sarah, that was an interesting one. So, if you may remember from previous podcast and everything talking about Donegal, my Sarah lay down on the Saturday morning. And we joked about it and we laughed about it and we thought, it's the fuel pump.
So, what was the finding or what was the diagnosis?
So, pulled the fuel tank out of the car and this time didn't manage to put 40 litres of petrol around myself.
That's
so
good.
We're off to a good start.
Yeah.
Also, do you remember we put like 10 litres in the car?
Yeah.
Well, the tank was nearly full, so I had used very little fuel. I was as surprised as you are. I was like, jeez, I've used nothing. I was as surprised as you were. But if you remember, I said in the last pod, I was sitting in the traffic and I was like, because actually with the last episode as well, that's what took so long, I had to do a load of editing because we explained everything in like the wrong order. So if you actually listen to the last podcast and listen to the raw file, it's completely different. The words are the same.
I remembered the Friday night.
Yeah, where we were talking about the Saturday morning. So we had to go back.
Yeah.
So I basically put the whole thing in chronological order. There's part of me talking about apple green and there's all this, but there's like, yeah, I had to edit all that to make it chronological. So, but that was one of the things was, I remember sitting in traffic and was looking at my fuel, or my AFR gauge was reading higher, which meant...
Yes, we don't need to go to the stoichiometric
ratio. Yeah, same thing I talked about in the last podcast. So, context back to where we are now.
You pulled the fuel pump out.
So pulled the whole fuel pump out. Took out the plugs, and one of the probes didn't come out. It lay lying in the plug.
Right.
So you know why the plug, the female and male end. Well, one of the 3 probes from the male end didn't come out. It just lay in the female plug.
Yeah.
And I looked in and went, okay, that's not good. But I wanted to rule out fuel pump first, regardless. So I took the fuel pump out, got a battery. I have like kind of like this setup that I've doctored from an old like charger setup where basically I can clip 2 ends.
So you can basically turn the fuel pump on. Did the fuel pump turn on?
Perfectly.
Oh, so what was the crack then with fuel pump? So what was happening?
What actually was happening was the plug had just started to go bad.
Oh.
And apparently this is actually starting to be quite a common thing, so I advise anyone who is listening to this that owns a Sierra, what I am going to tell you now, please go and check, because there are 32 to 36, 37-year-old car at this point. Go and check, because this scared the fucking life out of me. So, well, first things first, I have a bigger fuel pump in my car than most boys, so I'm drawing more amperage. I have a 340 litre. Most Sierras, I think, run probably like 150. A few boys put in Warbro 255s. BUA boys run Warbro 255s. More recently, there's other boys who run 340s now. Anyway, that doesn't matter. So I looked at the plug, and basically what I could start to see was there, basically where it was plugged in. The reason why the probe didn't come out was because simply there was a massive hole burned. And I'm using the word burned. Basically what was happening was where the probe was connecting in, that had all started to burn away. So the male end, the female end would have been like constantly touching off each other rather than actually in position.
Yeah.
What that then did was started to melt the plug. So can you imagine me trying to get my car started and it's sparking? And it was starting, you literally can see where it starts to deform the plastic, and you can see it burning the plastic in at the fuel pump. That was a near full tank of petrol.
That could have been a big kaboom.
Correct. I shit myself when I seen it. I literally looked at it and went, holy fuck. Like, I was like literally shaking, going, like, fuck. The fuel pump would have been the least of my worries, because I bought a racing line fuel pump and I was like, happy days, bang this into here. The AEM works perfectly. I'm going to keep it. I might use it for another project.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, you know what, just in case there has been any damage, probably not, from it constantly maybe turning off, turning on, I was like, I'll replace the fuel pump anyway. But I was chatting to Ali, and Ali was like, yep. He goes, I've seen this now a couple of times as well. He's like, what you're best doing is using thicker wires from like fans and basically drill it out and basically run the two wires through and connect all up, and then basically put like fuel resistant gasket on both sides and maybe a bit of like super glue to stick the wires together, and basically that now becomes your plug section, and put a plug end on the other side. Like, do that instead. But I like looked at it and I was like of all the things, like I've had a lot of, to be fair, anything that's went wrong with my car has normally been for good reason, and has normally been before something else more catastrophic has happened. But this one here particularly was like, fuck's sake, Donegal, like what the hell. But yeah, it was probably the best thing that could have happened, where it just decided,
It's all hindsight, isn't it?
to stop working.
It's all hindsight.
But I tell you one thing, it makes me even more glad now that we didn't decide to shoehorn and take the tank out of the car. 'Cause you couldn't tank out of the car in no time, really. Like, you know, out in the drive, and the fuel pump would have been fine, everything would have been tested, but I'd have been looking at that going, like, right, what am I going to do here? Like, I'm sitting here now in Donegal, we've pulled the tank out of the car, and it's the wiring's the problem. But it's not like just a loose wire. It's literally, no, this is burning. This is dangerous. Like, I would be driving that car home shitting myself. Like, literally, I have a fire extinguisher in my car. It's not big enough to put out a 30-litre petrol fire.
Yeah.
Like that just would have went,
And you would have lost car.
the car would have been gone. Like, my car gives me a lot of shit, but that was a premature failure.
Yeah.
Like, that was fucking scary. So anybody who's a Sarah in this pod, go check your fucking fuel pump plugs. So that was that. What else happened after that? Then that took me during the week. Just got a few other odds and ends. Got the shed all tidied up.
Yeah.
Got a right few things done around there, and then this is where I then landed down to yours. Well, left at the sides of the trailer.
Yeah.
Landed down to yours. I ended up going and drawing grass that night.
Yes.
In the 110.
Uh-huh.
And
did you do many loads?
3. It was a long draw. I was at it for a right enough while. It was probably a 45, 50 minute round trip.
Fuck.
Maybe longer.
Where was it till?
Nearly in Castle Dawson. From
Right.
here, like, aye. So I was drawn alongside Class 860, O'Hagan's, Specialist Joinery. Well, they do a bit of contract on the side, and but we came to this hill, and it was there I learned that second cut grass is a lot heavier than dry first cut grass.
More so because Friday night was wet.
Yeah,
It was wet grass.
yeah. So we were left in that, and I come up this hill, and your man, the harvester, is only 30-foot rows, so
Okay.
he's pushing her on a bit compared to Rory's 50 foots. And I came up, that was okay. I come to the hill, and I was in high second, and I got halfway up the hill, and I just looked at the harvester man and just went, and I had to stop, and I had to get her into first, and thank fuck I was in 4-wheel drive, like, and just got her going. But like, I had to tell him to slow down because we were coming up a hill and then turning round,
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even say there was that much. I would say the trailer was half full. High second was too much for her, like just too fast. But with that heavy grass, like, you know, I'd have said the load she had on. So anyway, I came on round the corner and I had to basically get your man to stop at the corner while I kind of went up and round him, because if he had have turned, he'd turned too early and would have been away and could have hit me. So I had to wait to him. He had to wait on me. We came on round. That was okay. Came across the side of the hill up, and we kept going till we were halfway down another hill.
Yeah.
And I got to the... So I was like...
You're rating me here.
We got then to an hour, but I came down and I was like, right, happy days. He finished off, topped off the load. That was grand. Or topped off the load. I had to go to the bottom of the hill, turn and come up the hill, high first, and I just was like, please, please, please don't die. Please don't die. Because I knew then if I had to stop in the hill, it would be medium box and the fifth while stuck on the hill. It would have been really embarrassing. But it was a hill. You had to go up a hill, turn, and then coming out of the field and round the lane was still a hill. So I just had to keep it lit. And I was like watching, and I was like, if this was night time, there'd be a flame about that length out of the tractor. Like, and I was just like, I need a turbo so badly. So that's also happening. But I know it's been happening for like the last 3 years, but it's definitely happening now, because I'll tell that story with on the pole stuff. And then Saturday went to the tractor run, and that's where it all tied in then to you. We thought you were going to come to the tractor run at some point, and then you were going to come, and then you weren't going to come, and then that's when I messaged Gemma going, right, what's happening here? Because yeah, because like we were literally like, so I was supposed to bring a top link, and Conor has an A-bar for me to hold basically this, because I was the last tractor in the run. I hold a thing saying thank you for your patience, and I forgot the top link.
Wouldn't be like you.
So then we were like, Conor, you're coming. So he was like, oh well, Conor's coming. I was like, Conor's coming. I goes, but sure they were silage. He goes, no, apparently he's coming. I was like, right, are they putting in the rest of the grass tomorrow? In which case, fuck, he's going to be in some shape tomorrow. And then I was like, and I looked in the group chat, and that was Adam had said, oh, they're putting in grass today. And then I wrote to Gemma going, Gemma, what's happening here? Is tonight still on? Adam's just wrote on saying everybody's at grass, like, or Conor's at grass. Brian's now asking me, is it still happening? And she was like, no, we're still going. I was like, fuck, Gemma's going to be tight, like.
Aye. So the Friday night, so Thursday, our fella went. Is it dry next couple of days?
Yes.
And I said, supposedly, so mowed the full thing on Thursday, except for stuff that was mowed the other day. It's going to be baled tomorrow.
Right. Okay.
So came to the Friday, whole mad rush to get the pit sorted. Got the pit fairly sorted. They arrived. They gave a good old hand to get the tyres and all off.
Don't mind me, I'm still listening. I feel like I forgot something.
Buck rate comes in very handy, like to throw tyres onto, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, no. So because there's no point in me drawing, I jumped in with the boy that was driving. Rory 6930 is a fucking rocket ship.
So I not do like 36, 37 mile an hour.
He went down, so he came out the end of the lane after I jumped in with him, and he went down the road, and I swear to God, like...
Was Rory driving the tractor, just Rory drawing in? Or who you in with?
No, technically Boyle was driving.
Oh, sorry, yeah, you said that, yeah.
So, no, he was going down the Cargan Road, and I was like, fuck, this thing's a rocket ship. Because she was probably doing 33, 34 mile an hour. But got to the field, loaded up. Tractor had the 20-foot Red Rock on the classic one, though, that Macaulay's own, because the cane trailer had a flat wheel.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's like 16.5 ton or something. Yeah.
You wouldn't have thought it was minor.
Seriously? That's a big trailer.
Yeah, well...
They have a nickname for that trailer. I can't remember what they call her. Someone said they have a nickname for that trailer.
But,
that's a big trailer.
See, whenever the mizzle of the rain came on, like, you would have sort of half knew the tractor was slightly not heavy enough for the trailer.
Yeah.
With a load of wet grass in it.
She's well at herself, isn't she?
She's very well at herself.
She's very, very well at herself.
So I Friday night got the Lock Acres in. Saturday morning, I went down, tramped a bit, and I goes, look, there's obviously no point in me drawing. I'll just roll the pit. I felt I was like, you'll just be in the way. There's no point. So Conor McCauley arrived to drive Rory shovel for a few hours. And I was like, sure, I'll roll it. And he's like, you tear away. As soon as first load goes in, you tear away. But to begin with, there was only two of them drawing. So then I was sort of thinking maybe they're expecting me to be drawn, but at the same time, because we were trying to fit as much in as possible, it was making
You're nearly
no
better
sense.
off rolling as much as possible, yeah.
So Andrew Wright, or Farm Theory, is completely correct. I would have loved to have had a compactor just to see how good they are. But like the other good thing about it was whenever you're rolling it, as the thing got a bit, more full than that, you were fit to park up in the road to be like, no more up here, fill up the ramp or fill down there a bit. And funny then, Dom, he jumped in whenever Conor needed to get away, and at a point he was like, out the fucking road. And I was like, no, there's literally like 10 sides here, that's why I'm parked here, just you put it in the ramp. And I was like, oh, fair enough. It was, I think, only last 4 or 5 loads went in when I had to go and obviously eat dinner and get the milking done.
Yeah.
But like, it was some job. Pretty much as the load went up and he went one side and I tramped it in, like, obviously cause there was a bit of time there. Now if you had a compactor, it would have been some job, because 2 seconds you would have had it trampled down enough. But really was some job, and I enjoyed myself.
Did you put anything in the second weep area? No way last year.
No bales, just
you're going to just put bales in there,
because
do you still have 2020s bales?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
we're feeding some of them at the minute, buffer feeding, But sorry, you mean 2021's bales?
Sorry, yeah.
So 2021's bales still there. The silage at the back of the pit is from probably
2018 or something.
2016, 2017.
Is that not just redundant at this point?
Nope.
But it still have good feeding value.
Aye.
Right.
We were starting to feed before the first cut went in. We're sort of feeding stuff that was 5-year old, and
I suppose it's because it's so well compacted.
Also well sealed. Like, now there's a brave layer of dung on it.
I'm sure you scrape that off, and it's alright. Like,
so basically,
that tractor run, that was an aid of the Fort Riding School for the Disabled in Mahara.
About that, yes. So
yes.
I was going to that. So as I was eating my breakfast on Saturday morning, I was like, do you need a tractor for winners? No. Can I go to that tractor run then? Aye, that's alright, no bother. Then it got to, I was dressed, I was literally jumping into the tractor. I would message Adrian, or about to message him, saying how much was it just for the tenor of the tractor. And then the fellow was like, I know, they're going to lift the rest of this today. And I was like, so you need the tractor then? It'd be a bit funny you driving off on it. I was like, if this was 10 minutes earlier, I would have been in Timber now.
Yeah.
So that was how. So then Adrian rung, Michael needs a top link, you come? And I was like, yeah, about this, I've literally just been told I can't go now.
Yeah, this was the whole thing. So it literally went from, is Conor coming, is Conor not coming, is Conor coming, is Conor not coming. But I told Adrian for that run, I was thinking, and I suppose this is the first promotional piece, I've done a lot of work with the Fort Riding School myself. I say a lot. I've helped out a few times over the last 4 or 5 years, helping dung out stables and drawing down bales and just general bits of pieces here and there.
Yeah.
And for me, it's a charity that I genuinely see what goes into it. And like, don't get me wrong, although me and you have both experienced likes of cancer charities and all that there.
Yes.
But for me, this is a charity. I'm helping out a close friend and what they do, and it's something that's genuinely quite local.
Yeah.
And I was actually thinking, there's a good layer, there's a good base here. Mahara's fairly central.
Yes.
Why don't we maybe take on that tractor run in aid of the Fort Riding School? This is another one of these decisions I've made without consulting you. You found this out from Adrian.
This is the best of it. So, on Saturday night, I was fairly intoxicated at this stage.
Yes.
And I was like, Adrian came up and he was saying, oh, look, have to head on here, Conor. And I was like, no problem, thank you very much for making the effort. No, thanks very much for coming. And I was like, I'll try my best to get to your triathlon next year. Obviously this year, but fuck up. Aye, put that. Apparently you're running it. I'm like, you what? You what? Aye, Michael says you're running it. I was like, Michael's a tendency of just fucking saying stuff.
Well,
and I just have to go along with it.
I was genuinely actually thinking
So
about...
first day is a mental breakdown and now he's organising something.
Well, I was actually thinking about this. I chatted this with Adrian.
Take that mental breakdown back out. That was wrong.
I don't mind.
Other people though might.
It's true. So like the way I looked at it was their biggest issue, I guess, is that their Facebook page and all that there. We would have the outreach. They have the likes of the marshalling capabilities and know the route and all that there. So getting like the 11-bar-1 form and all that filled out, that'd be grand. Although we can work on the dates. I personally think it should be earlier in the year. It wouldn't probably have suited either me or Adrian to have done it earlier this year, to be honest, with everything on. I personally think a tractor run, the best time to do it is in April.
Okay.
Before first cut kicks in.
Yeah.
Saturday or Sunday's up for debate. Some people don't like doing runs on Sunday for...
Some of us don't have any time bar a Sunday.
That's the problem. This is where you kind of come into this, do I say, political debate, and we try to stay away from that.
Bank holiday on a Monday, like May Day.
Not a bad shout. Something like that there would be good. So, like... I was thinking, well, with the podcast, we would have the outreach, and it'd be a good chance, I suppose, to get chatting to people. Maybe I'm starting to get a bit too full of myself here, but for people...
getting full of yourself? Never.
Well, like, the likes of, like, some listeners, if they wanted to come, like, I know there's a lot of our listeners are local, so, like, now would be the time to say, right, well, come and support. Like... Obviously, we're going to get nothing out of it other than putting our name to it, and, that'll be cool itself, but the fort would obviously be getting everything out of it. Again, helping out a close friend.
Yeah.
It's a win-win, I think. It's
You're
good.
killing many birds with one stone.
Well, it's good publicity for us.
Yeah.
And it's good to raise for the Fort Riding School, and everybody should have a bit of crack.
Yeah.
But overall...
Great run.
Yawn. A lot of yawn.
Oh.
But overall, a lot of money raised. Even...
So what does the Fort Riding School do, though? What is the charity behind it?
Fort Riding School is kind of like its own independent... It's a riding school for primarily disabled people. So it's kind of...
So it gives...
It's therapy nearly for people like either with autism, like the club chairman, Liam, like he's cerebral palsy, people with Down syndrome,
It's more geared for basically a bit of respite for those.
Literally, well, I had explained to me as literally therapy. Okay. So you get like these kids that they're young and get them on a horse, get them around animals, even like sensory things like touch and feel and all that, like basically gives... Well, I don't want to say gives them something to do, because
I've been horse riding once or twice before, and it was very expensive for what it was.
Well, that's the thing. Like this is a charity.
Yeah, so obviously, the riding school needs the money.
Yeah, as you say, keeping horses isn't exactly like cheap. Yeah. Then you've got the upkeep of all the horses, the feed. Now, like,
all voluntary, all the staff.
Yeah, like Adrian's obviously tied in. That's who we're all through. Adrian's tied in with it, and it's Adrian's.
How long has Adrian been doing it, or been?
Well, it's Nolene's so it's Adrian's partner, Nolene. They Martin and Teresa run it.
Okay.
So that's Adrian's very close to the centre, So, but like that's why me and Conor Kelly have always been involved with it. But it's just like they're doing all that and they're giving up their time.
Yes.
So they're happy to do it. Obviously, they wouldn't be doing it if they weren't. But they're relying a lot on charity and funding and just people being kind. Like some people will donate them hay just to feed the horses. Some people will donate them feed. etc., etc. So they were looked after, but like, you know, there's always a need for more, especially with the likes of that, like, you know, trying to get the people with learning difficulties and all that there into, you know, those environments where they can kind of prosper. You know, it's a very, and as I say, like, there's no, we take over the run, we get the publicity, we get a good crowd, we get the publicity. Fort Riding School prevails with that, and lots of young and older people with learning difficulties and disabilities can prevail from that, or avail, whatever the word is, avail from that.
Yeah, well, it's like anything. If the podcast is successful enough, or that I was fit to get 10 more tractors to it, again, it's more money to allow for those less fortunate than ourselves to be able to get a bit of therapy.
I have to give credit to Adrian as well. The marshalling was incredible. The marshalling in that run was phenomenal. Now, I think that Joe Rogers, who organises Mulligans, was down, helped a bit as well with all that.
Yes.
He'll be doing his run now in September. That's going to be class as well. Mulligan's tractor run, Draperstown, that's an unreal run as well. But, you know, Adrian, I have to say, had it down to a T, had it really, really well run. If we can get more tractors, it'll not falter it. It'll be a real. If Adrian can get the same way of marshalling again, it'll be phenomenal. Like,
yes.
Will we finally move on to our main topic?
Yeah. So just a bit, I suppose, a different one. We're gonna talk about On the Pill in Earlight.
Yeah. So John McLean has agreed to come back on the podcast for a second time round. He'll be our first ever repeat guest, but to be fair, I think I'm right in saying we owe quite a lot to John.
Yeah.
You know, I would say getting Farmflex on first time round was really the footing that me and you needed. Like, that more or less got us Donkey, that got us Andrew Morton, that got us Owen Smith into the tractor pulling, that got us Taylor Woods, that got us Farm Theory. You know, like, you know, Andrew Wright, all them people seen whenever we had Farmflex, them people all said, right, there's a bit of pedigree to this, because John McLean wouldn't put his name to something if it wasn't good. That was there looking at it. And I like to think that's correct for the majority of the time.
Yeah.
So John McLean has agreed to come back on. I had said about him coming on this episode. He said, look, Michael, a lot to do, a lot going on, a lot to get caught up on. I said, no problem. Sure, we'll leave it for a couple of weeks till, you know, you get everything sorted out. So I am hoping the next podcast will be with John.
Yeah.
Second person up for debate. Let me take that out, actually. But John will have so much to talk about from his side of things and his running and all that there, that there's probably there's 2 episodes worth of content from our perspective, as you said, and John's perspective.
So last year, obviously, I was a barrel marshal at it, and you were organising drivers down at the deep end, basically. So Mark had messaged me and said, look, you happy enough to help out again? I was like, no problem, really enjoyed last year. I joked and said, oh, well, am I doing the same sort of thing? And he said, no, look, would you mind giving Michael? And I says, I no bother. 100%.
And I was like, thank fuck.
I preferred it doing it this year.
Yeah.
It was savage crack.
Yeah, honestly, I loved it last year. The pace, I actually have to say, like, knowing drivers themselves is a big difference. Like, last year, I was running about screaming nearly every run. This run, well, actually,
you were screaming still, but they were behind you.
Not near as much.
No. But they, like, the majority of the time, you were like, driver number, and they were like,
I'm here, and I was like, I feel like a dick.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do this chronologically then. So we landed up on the Friday night.
Aye.
And bumped into Brian Horner and Stevie Evans.
Yes.
I was chatting to them for a bit. I didn't realise tug of war was such a big thing between young farmers.
Aye.
Apparently it's massive. Brian Horner was saying, like, Brian was glued to it. I think actually me talking to Brian was kind of like, get the fuck, like, you know, like,
Yes.
he was massively into it. And to be fair, like, the way, like, they were taking it so seriously. Now, there's quite a few young farmers listening to this podcast, so if you want to get in touch and tell me a bit more about it, glad to learn. What Brian was telling me, the way some of them boys train is nuts. Start running pulley setups and all to like pull, and I was like, holy shit.
Now, the Friday evening, I suppose I was more interested because I knew they were going to be dynoing the tractors, and again, from roughly knowing a few of the ones that are massive into it, you sort of get a bit of banter going. You put faces to names and all that crack, and then you're a bit of entertainment in that there as well. And originally, I was meant to be enjoying myself too with a few pints, but that didn't work out. But yeah, like,
we landed out the first person.
The best thing they done was try and have everybody there the Friday evening.
Yeah, absolutely. It made life so much easier for the Saturday morning. Seriously
easy.
But like the Friday evening, we ended up then bumping into Adrian Tugwell first. We walked over to
how to shake the man's hand. I was like,
he was buzzing.
If everybody was like Adrian Tugwell in the world
would be a much better place.
It'd be a brilliant place.
He was absolutely buzzing. He was so happy.
The energy that man has,
unreal. Yeah. He landed up. So, the 8970 has now been christened the Tuggernaut.
Yes,
that's a class name. So there's Big Blue, and then it was always Adrian's 8970. That's now the Tuggernaut. So had what dynoed
4 and beyond
452.
457.
457.
I'm near sure
it's not a far cry off Big Blue. Now I know Alistair can shove her on a wee bit more, but I think there's other things at play like clutch packs and stuff. But Adrian put a big turbo in his as well, so he put a big Borg Warner on her, and just standard pump still, just full
13mm elements and all that. Did he put a Dickenberg?
No, it says not just still the standard fuel pump.
Bigger elements though.
He changed he changed the elements, but it's not like maybe Cook doesn't have I can't remember if Cook has a P pump on his or not.
Don't know.
But no. Cook has the Dickenberg screw and all his. Adrian doesn't have that. Cook's Dickenberg screw is more or less like a mobile remapping device. You can just like screw it up and down. There's no real fettling compared to what you have to do with all the rest of them. So he gets that doctor that was I have him on Facebook as well. Your man from TH White.
Andrew Collier.
Andrew Collier. He seems like a real lovely fella too. It was him and Andrew Collier worked at her. So they had her left. She was on the money. Now Adrian's sitting going, it needs bits and pieces here, but like that man put the foot down and the smoke clouds out of her was unreal. And I was just like, that is a happy boy. And he was like, do you want to see her? And then the next thing I was in her. I was just like, hey. And the crack was made. Everybody started landing in. The Connerys all landed in then. The McGraths landed in. Frosty and James Smith landed in.
See, even bit right. So we went to Pomeroy pulling, and again, a few faces were put the names.
That was where we were kind of meeting people from the group chat.
You got a bit of a relationship or a bit of rapport built up, and it meant then whenever you went on the pull. Well, do you know something? What actually made it this year for myself was, it's one thing. There's Owen's tractor, or there's Aaron Connery and Ryan Connery's tractors, or there's Adrian Tugwell's. It's a whole different ballgame when you're friendly there.
Yeah.
And you get the wee rivalries, and you get the whole back chat and the slabber and all that. So whenever the weekend evolved or the Saturday evolved.
Well, we'll come to the Saturday in a bit. You're jumping ahead.
Like PJ coming in with 78 and just being like, I want to dyno her.
So I'm
being so lackadaisy about it.
He was like, you can. So then he jumped.
Just talk normal.
He was like, so you drive her? And I was like, what? He goes, sure, you can drive her. I was like, are you sure? He goes, aye, jump her in the fuck. I was like, Right? No bother. So I was like, let her warm there. So then we were down, we were chatting to Joshua Cruiser for a bit then.
Yes.
And as woman, I'm going to sink him a wee bit here. As woman goes to me, he goes, you know, he was raging he didn't make your Donegal video last year because he was in the top 16 last year.
Okay, yeah.
But he was in her silver Lexus. And I was like, nothing against him. I was like, I didn't know him.
Yeah.
I was like, at the time, I didn't know him. I was like, the way we recorded last year, it was kind of real off the cuff. Whereas this year, it was a proper top 16 showdown. Like, whereas last year, it was kind of, I had just edited the podcast as we talked about it.
Yes.
So, like, but last year's was like 11 minutes long, you know, and it was mainly more just about people we knew. So, like, said Danny Toland and Archie and all them ones. And I didn't really know Josh. And then he was like, no, she was like, oh, he was in the video and all this year. He was happy, but like he was driving the S14, and that kind of nearly became our cover car for the Donegal. That and Danny Toland were like the two cars that we were like kind of like, holy shit, like these are the cars of the rally here. Like, so he was then down. I was chatting to him for ages, and then the next thing I was like, right, we need to go out in this thing. We need to line up for the dyno, and then we came out then, and he was like, go and take her down the hill around now. I have that whole set turbo of mine lying in the shed. I got done up after it went bang on the Saab engine, so I got it all done up, sent it to Holland to get it done up by FHT turbochargers, and it's been lying there since. And I was originally I was going to go in the Fate, and then I was going to go in the OM 606,
And then?
now it's going to go back in the Fate. For I drove PJ 70-10, and it was absolutely class. It hit like 1400 RPM, and there was just this kick. Now, others have said that's not really what you want, but the Fates rev quite high. Like a Fate revs to 2700.
Yeah.
So you've got a bit more power band to play up top.
Yeah.
So if you can get if you can get her revved, then she should hold. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. So I drove his. Like, he pulls a digger with that thing everywhere. Like, if she was laggy, as people say, if she was as laggy, then she'd be killed. But she's not. She's pulling
But you don't drive a tractor to sit at 1500 RPM. You drive a tractor always flat out.
Yes.
And you change down gears to be around 2000 RPM.
Aye. Well, you don't want to be driving too high when you're drawing silage, because that way you dig up ground. But that's the way I was told with the deers. Don't drive them flat out.
Aye, but that's a John Deere.
Feed them gears. That was the biggest transition for me, changing from the TM to the John Deeres, was feed them gears.
Your thing is you hear one thing from one person and you just assume that is it.
Oh no, Fate's foot to the floor, like. But
Yeah.
that's because it's that fucking slow. You have to keep the shoe on her.
It's
But
well, go on ahead, sorry.
anyway, that thing just kicked in, and I was like, I was just like, I need this in my life. This is amazing. And it's so responsive. Like, so bop, 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 bop. So then your wee lad Michael then from Farmflex was like, oh, there's no more dynoing. And I had to sweet talk Michael into getting us dynoed.
Oh, right, okay.
So, because he wasn't going to dyno us. And I was like, gone, you put a cone in front of this tractor. I was like, look, I'll be honest. I was like, he was going to line up for the dyno, and I was like, look, I wanted to take a run on her. I was like, because this thing's got quite a big turbo, and I wanted to see it. And Michael was like, oh, well, like, you know, what would she be doing? And I was like, this thing's probably over 200. And he just looked at me and went, bullshit. And I goes, no. I was like, go put it in the dyno and you'll see. He was like, right. But usually the last tractor. I was like, no bother. I'm getting what I want. I couldn't give a fuck.
Fair enough.
So we hung her then in front of so we put the cone then, or the imaginary cone in front of the tractor. But I think the last stage everybody else was just like, right, I'm way off to the beer tent.
Yeah.
That thing, that 70-10 dynoed 213.
214.
214.
Yes.
I was videoing it and someone bushed me out of the way. I was fucking raging. I was going to do a proper video on the whole thing and dozed out the road while I was videoing it.
So the dyno read, so Brian pulled the dyno down as quick as possible.
Mm-hmm.
She had got the peak horsepower figure, and then she hung it either 160 or 170 for like 4 seconds.
Yeah.
And PJ was like, fucking cut the dyno.
You literally see the whole thing starting to shake. Like,
oh, she was shaking at 140 horse.
yeah. And I was just like, yeah, you'd probably want to cut that before that thing blows itself to bits.
So,
although he's adamant that the boys in Holland are a different level of Dutch, or another level of crazy. The boys in Holland run 78-10s at 300. The engine's fit for it.
really?
Yeah. So he was saying.
Well, I suppose the case is the block is the same in the 7.8, the 8.2, and all the T-dubs and all that. So they're all the same block, just different cooling and turbos and that.
Is TW35 the same block as a T?
As far as I'm aware,
right? I didn't know that. But it would make sense. They're a big enough block. They're what, like, are they 6.8 or 7.5?
I don't know.
Maybe 6.8 or something. 8210 is the same as is it same as a 7840 or same as an 8340? 8340 an 8340 manifold fits an 8210. That I know because that's what Emmett runs.
All I know is 8210 and 7810, same engine, just smaller frame tractor.
Aye, yeah. Well, the 7810 was simply just made to be a 7610 size tractor with a
6-cylinder.
Yeah. And then it
because the
sold
7810s
really well.
came out after them all or two.
The 7810 then sold really well, and
You only
everyone
got
was
a Force 2 of them.
Yes, Series 2.
Well, Force 2 upwards. You never actually got a...
No, you never got a Series 1 on them, though.
But, yes, so the Friday night was just...
We then got chatting to the Duffy brothers. They're worth a shout out.
Oh, here. So
Gentlemen.
we were... I was standing talking...
We're with them for a good while.
Standing talking to Andrew, and that was the time you were down, with Josh and that there, and the 7810, and... Andrew was like, oh, there's...
Owen and Paddy.
And I was like, well, how's it going? We know who you are. Okay, fair enough.
Absolute gentlemen.
And, like...
They've asked about coming on the pod.
They have. Because they wouldn't fucking take me money whenever I was trying to buy them a drink. I left them home.
Yeah. Oh, aye. Like...
Well, no, I didn't leave them home down to fucking Mayo. And then the small world was... Porrick.
Yeah, Porrick Leonard. Yeah.
Fucking...
Swapped a Lexus for a Passat or something. Off home. It's not really my place to say what happened with said swapped vehicle, but it didn't end well.
But that's a small world, like, isn't it?
Sure, I snapped Porrick.
No, no.
Saying any Passats.
But of all the things you're like, oh, funny, like, I'm like a fella that listens to us is in Australia and working the Monk & Son, and then I was saying, said Podrick at the time anyway, and they're like, right, boy, Podrick Leonard. Fuck, we know him. Isn't he such and such and all the rest? And they start rhyming off story. Small world. Yeah. Absolutely small world. But yes, we had a great crack with them.
And Donkey as well, chatting to him for a while, and his wife as well. She's lovely too.
Yes. It was nice, again, just...
We were chatting to her for a good while, actually. Just her. Robert was way off doing fuck knows what, chatting to fuck knows who. And we were just chatting to her for ages. And Adrian's worker, Stu. That man is not wise. He was running about... He brings the crack. He was running about with a fucking screw in his ear piercing, his screw, and he just goes, I've got a screw loose, look. And I was like... There's nobody else could get away with that other than this man here. It's the fact it's like 3 pints or whatever number of pints, and you're just like, you are screwed out, sir. He is. But then Adrian was like, he's literally like this at 7 a.m. on a Monday morning. And I was just like, how? You're more the fact of the energy your team brings is serious. No, the Tugwell Contracts team, seriously nice group of people. Oh. Adrian, I would like to get Adrian on as a guest, talk to him about it. He comes from the same part of the world as where Jeremy Clarkson. Oh, right, Clarkson's Farms based, yeah. He's Chadlington. So it'd be real good to hear, because he's had similar experiences to Jeremy Clarkson, obviously just not on the same scale, obviously, given the fact that there's a TV camera crew following Clarkson about. He's had the same problems. So it'd be good to hear all that side of the thing from Adrian's side. Now, Michael, the Saturday morning. So I was amazed that fantastic. I was amazed that we went in and John just went, who's going to get who? So he said to us, he goes, boys, do you just want to come over here? Because we were lining up the drivers, we landed and we were like, do you want to come over here? It's like, great, come over here. Well, he sort of suggested to us originally, he was like, come use here and help see what we can do with the drivers. And then we were like, and looking at it, and then he was like, just you pair, just put whoever you want. I'm leaving this up to you pair. And we were just like, oh shit, things just got serious.
This is not my event, but yeah.
So like we were like, so it's on us to do the drivers. Yeah, okay. And immediately we were like, we can have a lot of fun with this.
Aye. One or two of them we got wrong, but we
Not
were
that many, I would say.
No,
we
no,
got
no.
more right
What I
than
mean
wrong,
is,
definitely.
We got some of them wrong, and then we had give some people like G up. Oh, you're going to begin who? And they were like, no, change that.
But to be fair, like the likes of like we originally had, look, I'll just say it out loud. We originally had Owen Duffy and Andrew Morton against each other again, and Andrew was like, but we went against each other last year.
Yeah, there's no point doing.
There's no point doing that again. I went, fair enough. I was thinking coming back for round 2, but
we put him again.
so he was like, no, I want to go against Gareth McGrath, and I was like,
We can make that happen.
yeah, okay, fair point. And then Owen Duffy went against Dermot Byrne in the 180-90, which was equally as good a battle. So, you know, a Fate against a Zetter, like that's cool.
You don't see that every day.
Stuff like, but it was other things like, for instance, like I purposely suggest that we put Bernie Keenan in the 110-90 against Emmett Sherry's 8210, because I just wanted to I just was like, if there's any man can drive a Fate, it's Bernie Keenan.
Yes.
He's good in her, and I hope the fuck he wipes out 8210. I done that on purpose, and I told Emmett that, like, and it made me a happy man whenever I seen that Fate go by the 8210.
I think I had said to you at the time, I'd love to see the turboed Fiat against an F130.
Yeah.
Did Baby Blue going against an F130?
No. There was two F130. There was Owen Smith's F130, and then there was that other F1. Was there not 3 F130s?
Could have been.
Did we put 2 of them together? See, I had to leave in the middle of class 3, so.
And my mind has went mush. But look, it's the fact that whenever we went there, the responsibility.
I have the running order on my phone. I could literally tell you.
True. To be fair,
Put Owen against Gareth McGrath at 210.
To be fair, like, so we looked at them when we were on, right, the ones that have won it, you need to try and put them out.
Yes.
Or put them against somebody
We'll make no secret about that, yeah.
to make good TV,
but
basically.
we also were like, yeah, it needs to be fair. Like the TS 115, for instance, in the first category that wiped it, Keelan
was the only one that actually needed to be dynoed because the ground conditions get so slippy and that even if you were running big horsepower, you weren't getting the time.
There'd have been a lot more dynoing going on had the weather stayed good.
Yes.
But Keelan's TS 115, absolute animal machine. But he put her in as the first class because she's a 115, but she dynoed 146 or something. He was like, I was like, you're kind of disqualified. And I was like, please don't turn her down. He goes, that thing's an animal. He goes, oh no, she's staying. He goes, I kind of thought she might have been a wee bit over 130, and I was like, just a bit.
just slightly.
That thing was class. That was a tidy tractor.
But it was like, so with knowing a few of them, you were like, you know, like Gareth McGrath against Owen was just fun.
Yeah, that was just done purposely to try and second the pair of them.
Yeah. And then you've that wee bit of rivalry there.
100% in the group chat, and then Ryan Connery versus PJ, or Aaron Connery versus PJ. That was another one that we done on purpose because like they had been literally the McGraths literally left their tractors at the Connery's yard.
Yeah.
So like the Connerys had been messing about in the tractors, and I was like, well, it'd be good to see, like, you know, PJ's 70-10 is well up there. Aaron's 3650 is
it's
also
supposed to be
well up there too, but he can't dyno her down because of the clutch packs. So it's, you know, PJ couldn't, like, he was literally spinning.
Yeah.
Couldn't get the grip down.
It would have been interesting if it was dry, what would have happened there.
I'd like to have seen that as well, but that 3650 is an animal.
It's the long wheelbase.
Yes, she is a good tractor anyway. Like, she's well at herself. Aaron and Ryan both they don't get too panicked. They don't get too raised. They just
not at all.
They just toot her away. Like, but it's funny because Emmett Sherry has a video of it, and it's like you turn around, you see like like it's Ryan going just leaving PJ, and the camera just turns around to Gareth McGrath, and Gareth McGrath looks like he's about to burst into tears, and then he pans the camera around to Ryan Connery, and Ryan Connery's going, yes, come on. It's like the brothers' reactions. I know some laughing at that, like
Emmett in the toolbox. I doubt he may leave the toolbox at home next time.
But it was actually quite nice to see, like, even the boys in the chat that we all know and are all friendly with them. We didn't get a chance really to spend time with them, like, but like they were all congregated together, and occasionally I would have nipped in just to see what they were doing, and then would have bounced out again. But it's funny, like, you know, like the winners of the classes and stuff, like, were people we knew.
Oh, why?
James Smith class 2, Ryan McMullen class 4. Obviously, like Adrian Tugwell's boy won class 5 in the 942, I believe.
Even the other thing is, it was nice to be like, not that we know everything, but it was nice to be able to. You have a rough idea what's cool against what.
Yeah.
And at least you were given the freedom to basically put. You were like, it would be interesting to see X against.
Well, John
Y.
was like, make good TV, and we were like, yeah. So
Hoovers against Hoovers.
Yeah.
So the modern triters against when possible, and then
there are certain things, like I think we had 1 or 2 old school versus new school matchups. I suppose it doesn't really
Cook against the 942. That was a good watch.
Yeah.
I was like, that would be cool to see something that's literally 400 horse vario against
something that's
per shift 450 at least.
Something that's old school, well, modern classic power. So we, you know, that was that's a perfect example actually of something we done, like old versus new. But it was kind of like, you know, schoolboy arguments, like, oh, like my 11090 would wipe your 8210. Oh, would it now? And then it's just like, right, well, we'll see. Like, you know, and like, for instance, like there's Gareth 8210. Well, she's well at herself, like, you know, and it's not to say Owen's a bad driver in the F-130. No. They're like both very good pilots, you know. So that was a tight battle, and you could see Owen was starting to spin. It wasn't for lack of power, lack of driver error. He was starting to spin. You could see it in the hull.
Yes.
It just, like conditions were just starting to get worse as well. Like I remember at one point we were standing there watching, and like I think was it Donkey came out in the 130 on the last run, the final, and the trailer just went out sideways.
Oh sure, what about whenever they were trying to clear the track and make it better?
And the boy in the dump trailer.
The dump trailer nearly overtook the tractor.
Yeah, he came down, we were literally looking at it going,
supposedly one of the trailers get hit.
Yeah.
One of the trailers hit one of the concrete things.
Yeah. So I suppose it's probably worth at this point addressing why the ground was. Now we'll probably get into more detail with this with John next week anyway.
So, but see, last year with the ground being soaking,
yes,
obviously as the more tractors went up the field,
yes,
they dug a tracker, and then they scraped off with the digger off the top.
Yes,
what you were going down to was hard.
Yeah,
the weather was dry then,
so boys were able to get grip.
They were able to get grip.
Yeah,
and whenever they dug the ruts into the actual field, going up around the barrels, the trailers had nowhere to go.
The trailers literally just
the
trailers literally just banked themselves.
The trailers were still drifting at times, and like, you know, with the loose enough soil.
Yes.
This time though, as the more tractors went up it, you were compacting the ground.
Yeah.
And then with the rain, it was just causing it to be like greasy.
It was rain. Yeah. So it was rain, dry. So it would have dried out, then it just got slippy.
I don't know, I can't think of the word for it.
But you were just compacting the ground. That's some big flotation tyres. So the tyres were just gliding.
You can imagine that, say ground, real dry, right, so a road, real dry road, and then there's a wee mizzle on it. When the mizzle's on it, and there's a wee bit of a layer of rubber in the road, it's a death trap. So you'd imagine whenever the tractors were going over the ground for so many runs, then you were basically, you compacted down the grass. You sort of were tearing up the ground a wee bit, but it was that hard. Unless you had real good tyres, you were just going to spin. Yeah. And then as the trailers, obviously, there's no driving in them, there's no ground drive in them. So they were just like a passenger. So that's what I would assume. You could definitely see this. Like, the only thing I could think of was if they at that point had a tractor and a power harrow for each of the run, or for like each side between the classes, even just to see if they could like loosen it up a bit to take that element out of it. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but I would say we'll get more information out of John on the next one about how they do that, because that's the sort of stuff we'll talk about next time round. We're just talking about us being gobshites and pairing everybody together. But
all in all, I'm raging because I had to leave in the middle of class 3.
And I had to leave in the middle of class 4.
So I didn't even get to see the rest. We got all the drivers lined up for class 3.
And I got all the drivers lined up along with Hannah and Matthew.
Matthew Sloan. I was going to bring up Matthew Sloan. Matthew Sloan was an absolute class act. He was great to have along with us. Like, he was like the next stage down from us. But because we know Matthew anyway, it was good to be in real good communication. We'll talk about that we got girl Hannah on the next podcast. She's a great asset to Farmflex.
Okay.
She's a fantastic asset.
Serious personality.
Yeah, she's a great asset to Farmflex.
And whenever you left, she was more or less doing everything in her power to find out exactly what we were doing, what way to go about it. And
pure enthusiasm.
Oh, yeah.
Because she'd followed me around before. She's like, look, I'm going to follow you around just whenever you're to try and catch on. I was like, yeah, it's no bother. But like, pure enthusiasm, just really want to help. Like, reminded me of me last year. Like, just really wanting to get stuck in. And I was like fair play. Like, yeah, she was definitely her and that wee lad Michael that works for them as well. He's a good lad too. Definitely, 2 good people. Definitely brought on this year.
You can see them maybe becoming the interviewers in time.
Oh, 100%. Anything else to add to Farmflex?
I think we'll leave the rest of it for the conversation.
I think so as well. And there'll be people who we've forgot to mention. Look.
So we'll move on. So basically, because I don't know how long are we recording now?
I don't know, like 2 hours.
Fuck off.
Yeah, 1:48. But we did a lot of. No, we didn't even at the start.
No.
Camera's probably nearly in 2 hours because we did a lot of. Remember, we set the camera up and then we wanted to get the microphone first time round. Microphones didn't work. Good crack.
So now we'll move on to the segment where Conor is fuck all and Michael's going to fill you in with a lot.
I have a few things, yeah. Not as many as I normally would have, but that's because, as I say, I kind of took a break from people, from like sort of writing to people as much. I feel bad because there's a couple of people I missed. Hidden messages is the worst. There's been a few ones that have written to us and they've been hidden messages.
Right?
Yeah. I'll actually start with this because this was a. Where's it at? A fella. So a lad. I'll actually start with this here because a lad actually wrote to me and he goes, right lads, I'm a Staffordstown man originally but I live in England now. Staffordstown, so beside you.
Yeah.
He goes, I've been farming about 16 years, moved to construction because it's just more money, lol. I have a 25-ton Volvo digger, some yoke. I got a spin a 60-ton kitten now, she can dig. My question is, if you were to take a change in a career, what would you do? P.S. Love the pod, listen to it while I'm digging. So he just wrote that to me out of the blue, probably because he's thinking, well, I was a farmer and moved across into construction.
What's his name?
I just have Tom the farmer lad down here.
Okay. What would you do different?
I am kind of a bit torn. Sometimes I think being a spark, an electrician, would have been a good career plan. Sometimes I do think, although like I went down the route, I was going to say education, that sounds bad, but like, you know, further education, like went uni, master's degree. Really, I would say my degree got me my first job. After that, it doesn't matter a damn. I think a degree just proves you can work, but you also have that way of trade, so it doesn't even matter. I don't regret going to uni. I had a lot of good times, a lot of good crack. If I was on my deathbed tomorrow, I wouldn't regret it.
Yeah.
But trades are a dying art. Definitely, if I had a son or even
trades are a dying art.
Do you know any brickies our age?
That's the thing. It's not that they're a dying art. It's that everybody's been pushed for education.
100%. And my school especially, I went to
but it's all to do with we are the whatever ranked school in the country.
Well, my school cared more about sending people to uni and getting like 100% of our students go to university. Now, they might have went and done some fucking fan dabby dozy degree, but
they still went to university.
So the ratings, and I've give off about this a few times, like, you know, if I had a son or a daughter and they said like they wanted to do, I couldn't care whether they wanted to be a doctor, a lawyer, a spark, a mechanic, a hairdresser. Just be the best you can be at it. That would be my attitude. Like, I definitely wouldn't be forcing my child down the route of uni. If they didn't want to go to it, I'd be saying, right, that's fine. You want to be a mechanic? Absolutely, go be a mechanic. Be the best mechanic you can be.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it. Spark. The other thing I do sometimes look back and kind of wish is maybe had I taken that jump into farming.
In what regard?
Like going into the likes of dairy farming. But it took me probably till about 5 or 6 years to go to really figure out that love for it. But, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, you have the sheds and you have the ground and all that there, but I never had the money. It's all well and good having the sheds and the ground, like, but it costs a lot of money to get into farming and to go to the scale to fill the ground with dairy farming. It's a lot of money. And then, as I've said before, how do you go to the bank and say, hey, I need $500,000 here?
Well, you don't need $500,000. No, you don't need anywhere in half.
But time you work it out, you're not a far cry off.
You
Right.
don't need $500,000. Considering your setup at the minute, there's like, if you want to do it reasonably, you would sort of look at a second-hand parter that sort of half suits your own situation. Second-hand parters are seriously cheap.
Yeah, but that's why but you'd rather go first.
No, you wouldn't go brand new first. No, definitely not. No,
Buying someone else's trouble.
no, you're not. You're buying, like, our parter at home there was put in the 70s, and there was nothing wrong with it. See, for somebody starting out for first 5 years to get capital and all built up, that's fair enough. But if you really want it to, there's lots of people that is going into dairying and that, and they're doing the cheap. And they're like, it's like anything, they're building up, and in 10 years' time, then they're putting in what they want to do.
Fair. So I was just saying, if you went at it straight and just went, like...
Same thing as if you're buying your first car.
Well, I was just thinking, right, say you do go, okay, I want to put in a parter that'll last me for a good while, and I was thinking, right, well, I like the idea of robots, something similar to what Kieran McNaughton has. 120 grand for your first robot, that's fine for doing. It would take probably another 30,000-40,000 to get everything pulled together, make everything nice, get new cubicles all in, get all that done. Then you have to buy the cattle, so you have to buy 60 heifers.
The other way you can do it is you can buy 60 drop calves.
But then you still have to pay a contractor. So you're, again, out money to feed cattle over a winter that you haven't yet got a single penny back on these cattle from milking them. You then have to pay a contractor to cut your grass for you. And put that all in the pit. You have to buy the equipment that you can feed.
Yeah.
You know, by the time you work...
The fella that bought our parlour, actually, the way he done it was he bought 30 heifers.
Right.
Heifer calves.
Mm-hmm.
Reared them.
Mm-hmm.
The following year bought another 30 heifer calves.
Mm-hmm.
I was rearing them.
Mm-hmm.
Got the first 30 in calve.
Yep.
When they calved down, they were more or less then ready to go into the parlour.
Yes, and they'll train the next batch.
Like 30 heifer calves averaging about £300 or £400 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
Is a cheap way to get into it.
It is, it's the way I've started doing it with the cow.
He was beefing cheap beforehand. So he was like, this is me getting in. So then he effectively would have 30 milking for the first year, in theory 60 milking for the second year,
and then probably
and then he had replacements coming
60.
forward, and that was it.
Yeah.
And 10 aside parlour.
Look, the thing is, I'm mechanically minded enough now and clued on enough to do all that stuff now.
Yeah.
Right? And figure out how to put a parlour in, what sensors to use, and where you pipe everything. That wouldn't be a massive problem. I could figure all that out. But I wouldn't have known that 10 years ago.
Aye. If there was something I could do, it'd probably be a mechanic or something.
Really? You
Well,
hate getting dirty?
Aye, but there's a difference between getting dirty for something you haven't a fucking clue about and getting dirty for something you actually do have a clue about.
Fair.
Because...
Would you have considered mechanicing? Right enough. You're very good with like footery things. That's what I've noticed. Like, if I can't get something like a clip or something pulled out of like a wiring, I hand it to you.
See, you always toyed with like the idea of car body work, and then whenever I hear about Stevie's,
I think you'd be good for that because you're quite patient compared to me.
Michael, I'm the type of fella who starts to wash a car and then halfway through it can't be fucked to wash the wheels.
Don't we all do that?
Apparently not.
Oh.
Like, yeah, like sure. I bought the thing on Amazon, so a wash mitt on a pole that extends. Just for the simple fact that it was handier and it sped me up, because instead of, obviously, if you have more leverage and something, it's going to make things quicker. Now, if people seen the way I washed the Civic, they'd be like, your fucking head's cut. But it works.
I washed the Amarok and missed a bit in the door. Fucking raging. Washed it yesterday for the port. It's covered in flies already.
Oh, it would be, yeah. It's time of year, sure.
I need to head it down with a quick rinse, but just haven't had a chance. So anyway, I thought that was quite a good question there from Tom. So fair play.
If anybody was to ever ask me if you weren't living on a dairy farm, would you ever go into it? Probably would say no.
I would agree. You're born into it. For you, you have the interest. And like you're happy enough because I assume you're happy enough because
when Daniel was there giving us a hand today to put the cover in the silage, like he was saying, oh well, how's all things going and all the rest. And I recently found you can like link through Chrome onto like your desktop or whatever from your phone. And then it was sort of half shown, like, oh, like, you know, found this out that was fitted out recently and far handier than having to run up to where computer for the power.
Oh, that's really good. Basically casting to your phone.
Sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
But like whenever I showed him a few of the things.
What do you call the word? You're not streaming.
Screen sharing.
Pretty much, emulating.
But see, whenever like I went into it, I was like, oh, like there's all the cows that are due to calve in the next 6 months. And he was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, shit like this is making me more interested.
Yeah, but you do come from a kind of a sort of, and I've said this before to Ian, that like you do kind of have a bit more of a nerdy, geeky side.
Oh, what?
So you quite like I remember listening to you and Andrew Wright talking, and the pair of yous talking away, and like I was impressed to see like the way you were reciting things off, and you're like, oh yeah, no, we do this and we do that, and he was like, no, well, I think you should do this, and you're like, no, well, we've done this and we think this works. Like,
but that would have been like you in your old job talking to a customer, and you know exactly what you're on about because that's your field. Whereas you never see me be a nerd with farming. You hear me talk about tractors, but never being a nerd around cows.
No, but it's because you have the interest that you want to be a nerd, though, is what I'm saying. You're happy to sit and go, yeah, I want to figure this out about these cattle because I want to know about these cattle.
It sort of makes money and pays the bills too.
Yeah, but you're looking at it nearly like a wee sort of a game or a challenge. Like, how little can I feed them to still get the max? Like, that they still comfortably produce milk. Yeah. You know, and that's like
oh, I'm nice.
I was about to say, yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you.
You old bastard.
Cheers.
30 years of age, old man.
Feels no different a minute ago, but yeah.
No, trust me, 30, it's like being 26. Being 26 for me was like the biggest kind of black mark. Because I feel like you can get away with doing pretty much anything till you're 25. They can say, oh, sure, he's only 23, he's only 24.
This is another thing. So on my 26th birthday, just as you say that, I was at a 21st. So it was COVID, first night out sort of after COVID times, and like basically it was one of the lads, their woman's friends was partying. We're like,
it's just an excuse to go anyway.
Yes, yeah, excuse to go for a bit of crack, and one of this whoever it was friends was basically like, oh, somebody had said, oh fuck, oh it's his birthday as well, and I actually were like, oh well, what age are you? And he's 26. They're like, oh, I would hope I would be married at 26 and all this carry on the day. And I was like, you cheeky bastard.
But I think you always think that when you're young, but because I remember like I originally when I was like 17, I was like, oh, I'd like to think that I'd be getting married by 23 and all this year. Yeah, originally, because like, that's what my cousin had done.
It's funny. It's like when you leave school, like ones that are at secondary school, you're like, fuck, they're weans. And then you get to 25 and you're like, fuck, 21-year-olds and uni ones are weans.
Weans, yeah.
And now you're 30.
Now you see someone on this, like their birth date's like 2006, and you're like, they're a child, and it's like they're literally 18, and you're just like
my niece.
what?
Yeah.
Aye. And you're like, you're born in 2006, fuck up, you're like 5, and it's like,
that was the year I started secondary school.
yeah, literally. I was
like, Sinead was born the night, was it? I was P7, 23rd of March.
Yeah, one of like the old placement students in like where previous work when I worked at CDE, she was saying like I think she was born like 2003. She's from Toom. Eloise Johnson. She lives in the town. But we were talking, I'll take all that bus. But she actually went to the same secondary school as me, albeit many moons later. And I was like, I started secondary school in 2005. She goes, I was 3. And I was like, way to make me feel old.
Yeah, you're not joking.
Because I was like, 30, she would have been 20. So literally.
When the first niece was born, I was like, whenever they're 10, I'll be 20. Whenever they're 20, I'll be 30.
Yep. And as of now, for the last 3 minutes, you're now 30.
Yeah.
I don't even have a party popper to go. Da-da! But, yes, happy birthday, Conor. I'm sure you can think of no better way of spending your 30th birthday than with me. Don't answer.
No,
Move on. Did you... Well, actually, so I have a few things written down that I've mentioned. The only person I hadn't mentioned down was Murray. You were saying the guy with the hat.
Yes.
JZ 61 Estate. I was chatting to him at the very, very end.
The Friday night.
Yes. He was actually... I'd been chatting to him at Donegal. He'd messaged the page. And then he said, I was going to call in. He says, I seen your car parked up in the trailer, but I was in the wrong lane to call in.
Okay.
And I went, all right. I was like, well, I'll write you down here so you can get your shit out in the pod. So, well, good man. Cheers for listening. Really appreciate it.
There was one thing, had said he had seen me at Driftmasters.
That's right.
Or he was telling you that, and just with whatever way he said that, look, you looked wild busy or whatever. See if you happen to spot us anywhere. Now, look, whenever I have been spotted now twice. Fucking big famous person of the year, spotted twice in fucking a year and a half.
Aye.
And I will be completely caught off guard.
Yeah.
And if I look like I am spaced out, probably am from just working away and all that trial.
That tractor run, there's a group of girls apparently listened to the pod.
Oh, right, okay.
Like, I was like, and they said, that's like, Conor's like, they're saying, no, you're the guy from the pod. And I got really embarrassed, like, because I just don't know how to deal with it. Well, like, they were all young enough anyway, so like, but I got embarrassed because the attention came. I was like, I literally said, I goes, I'm quite shy now. Like, I'm not a shy person, but whenever you hear of that and people go, they listen to you through that, I'm kind of like, it catches me off guard, like, as you say.
Yeah.
But to be fair, like, Will was saying to me, is like, it's like nice to chat to you. Is like, you're like a normal person. I was like, it's because I am a normal person.
Yeah.
But it's the same. If you were to chat to Dave Egan, if you want to sit down and actually have a beer or something with Dave Egan and have a proper chat with him, you'd be like, you're normal. But he is normal. He's a human being like the rest of us. He just has had a very accomplished life.
But sure, it's amazing. No matter where you're at, probably somebody does recognise you.
Mm-hmm.
And
for every person that'll come up to you, there'll be a heap more that will know you and just go, oh, that's him from that.
Yeah.
Moving on to other stuff then. Fella Neven Gribben, I think that's how you pronounce it. He sent me a E36 with a Corolla front end. But not even like an A86 front end. I could nearly see why you'd do that conversion. Like an A92 or like maybe an old E-shape. Like Corolla front end and rear lights on an E36. A lot of body work went into that car.
Do you have a photo of this?
Somewhere.
From here, that weirdly doesn't look bad.
It's
Different.
it flows, but it's just
It's not completely replaced, but it's different. Like.
yeah, it's not. It's yeah. So I've seen
It's
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's actually the best way to describe it. Did you hear about the lad in the red Oris? Did you hear about this?
No.
Did you see the video on TikTok? Darren Farley sent it to me, but I've seen it come up on a couple of other posts as well. Fella in a red Oris driving, and he was literally swerving all over the road.
No.
And I think he got caught. Did he get stopped just outside Bundoran? And he'd been driving from Limerick.
Right.
The video, literally, red Oris swerving all over the road, all over the show. Don't know whether he was drunk, don't know what the crack was, but literally, some people said it was put on. The fella following behind shouldn't be videoing. I'm like, well, what's the fella behind going to do? Like, if the fella was absolutely pissed and he was driving like an absolute rod, you'd excuse someone for being on the phone with filming someone committing like dangerous acts like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently he drove 260 kilometers, but literally he was completely all over the road, like bad looking, like you just swore they were pissed. Do you remember the video of the person in the blue Mark 7 Golf? Maybe like last year, 2 years ago, that was caught. They were drink driving in like the middle of the day.
Okay.
In like County Tyrone, and they were in the middle of the same driving style as that. So
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. Ricky Sunak, Nick Bassett's Volvo,
Yes.
or sorry, Porsche. I
Yes.
love that thing. They bought that a couple of years ago, and every year they go to Goodwood Festival of Speed. Nick, one of our close friends, he bought that actually off a fella I used to work with. But
Yes.
last year they done it up like a Rothman's Porsche livery, except they called it Rotham's.
Yes.
This year they done it with the Jägermeister livery, but like again, all the stickers. Yeah, there's just something crawling up me. Yeah, all the stickers. It's all just parody stuff. It's absolutely hilarious. They somehow managed to sneak into the supercar paddock at Goodwood Festival of Speed.
Yes, I saw.
How Nick gets away with this shit, I don't know. Like, to be fair,
He doesn't look like a fellow who would drive that.
no, but he's a fairly charismatic lad. Like, so I'd say if they stopped him, he'd be able to just talk his way in. That's the type of him.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, the videos they've just been putting up, and like they made the wing, like this massive wing. It's just like, oh fuck, I'm starting to get tired now. It's like the way it's like
Fuck you, the fucking.
the way it's held onto the car and everything's absolutely fucking
being 30 is
hilarious.
quite hard.
Yeah, being 30 is tough. The way the wing and all's held on
10
the
minutes in
cars,
the club.
absolutely fucking hilarious. I really recommend you check out Ricky Sunak, and even just the fucking name Ricky Sunak, that's fucking class. So yeah, follow that. There was a Fergie at that tractor on Saturday with a Dihatsu 4-track engine and a big fucking turbo stuck out the side of her.
How did that go?
Well, he says that he could surprise pretty much most tractors on the road, but he says it's not like a car. He says you can't drive them flat out. He goes, it's not like a car where you're driving at like 4,000, 5,000 RPM. You get a tractor, you can drive at full rev, no bother, whereas you don't really ever drive a car at full rev. So he was saying the back end's too like low geared, nearly 40. He says the whole conversion cost him like 300 quid.
Fuck.
Made the bell housing and all himself. Tilted the engine slightly so he didn't have to cut the bonnet on the Fergie.
Yes.
Because the bonnet's like the most expensive part of them. So, but he says the way they're geared, he's like, yeah, he goes, look, I can get it up speeds in short bursts. He goes, but he's like, you know, you don't drive a diesel car full bore all the time. And he's like, so he's like, you know, most of the time he's like, you're still driving at a fairly normal pace. He goes, but yeah, he's like I'll do well over 30, like. And that's a Fergie back. And then the other thing you have to remember is a Fergie back end. So a Fergie normally tops out probably say 15, 16 mile an hour.
Yeah.
So
That'd be fast.
yeah. So and it probably revs to 2100 RPM. So if he's going by people at 30 mile an hour, he's revving out to 4000 RPM, and you wouldn't do that in a diesel.
No.
For prolonged training times, unless it was, I don't know, a Le Mans diesel car, you know. So
Yes.
thought that was cool. And then this morning there, so I'm making gates at the minute. More of my mad scientist gates than I'm making. And I would get my steel off McCombs, Davy McComb outside
Yes.
Ballymoney.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't want to ring Davy personally because I was like, Davy might be taking time off. And Davy's more entitled to take his time off because, you know, it's holiday season.
Yes.
By the way, I rung Davy's office.
Yes.
No voice or no answer. I went, right, okay, fair enough. Next thing, the phone rung back. It was Davy's own phone, and answer was like, well, and the voice I didn't hear was Davy McCombs. The voice I heard was, well, you hear ye. What are you looking for? A bit of steel here, are you? What the fuck are you trying to do today? No other than Robert Heaney, Donkey 262 on the phone.
How the fuck that end up being?
He buys his steel from Davy as well.
Wait,
he landed in to buy stuff off Davy. And then, you know, Davy's like, oh, there's Michael's calling ring, and he just went, oh, fuck, give me the phone. Like, so then what was he said to me? He's like, what are you doing anyway? And I was like, making gates here. I was like, getting a few final bits here gathered up. And he goes, right. He goes, do you want me to throw in a few bits of buffing dust for you to grind down all your welds after you've done? I was like, you cheeky bastard. He is not slow, like. But he was asking me advice for taking the Leyland up.
The 262?
Yeah. Aye. Yeah. So
yeah.
he's taking it in the Sammy as well. So he's saying it's a way long drive. He goes, he might might load them up. And I was like, well, that is entirely up to you, my friend. And finally then I put up a video the day there on the story of me going out the road, and I overtook this person in a wee Peugeot who was doing 23 mile an hour. Coming out of Reshargan, and was like, the fuck, right? And as I overtook him, wipers going whoosh, 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 whoosh. So that was okay. Came back out of Davies and looked through my messages, and it was literally just reply after reply after reply going, where'd you get the black eye? What happened to you? You've some shiner on you, all this and that. And I was like, the fuck? Looked at the video, because I was working with a steel.
Yes,
I rubbed my eyes all the time. I had dirt and I had that oily protective coat
in one eye.
And one eye. And like literally it was like, the fuck happened to your eye? Andrew Morton, Matthew Henry, Adam McCartney, Taylor Dixon, like everybody was writing to me. Just that's the ones I can remember just off the top of my head, but they're all writing to me going like, what happened to your eye? And I was like, literally nothing. And they were like, I thought you got boxed. Stevie goes, were you talking when you should have been listening? And I was like, literally no. Like, no. Just, so, yeah.
You got a good wash then? You got it washed off?
I was wondering why Davy McComb was looking at me funny.
Whereas it's like, obviously I was covering the pit today.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like covering the pit, and then it was like a race for dinner, and then milking parlour, and I was just like, I'm not looking very attractive right now, but I'm just going to have to roll with this. Because it was...
Needs most. Well, we call it that, Conor.
We will. Guys, thanks very much for listening to this shorter than usual possibly podcast.
Still 2 hours 18.
Fuck off.
Yeah. And there's not that much editing to be done.
So,
on this normal length podcast.
Yeah, to be honest with you, like, we did say before this, like, this would be quite short because we're both obviously knackered.
A lot has happened in the last 2 weeks, though.
What I've been baffled is, I looked at the mirror in the car and was like, the fuck is so black right just below my nose? But it must have rubbed my face whenever I had the gloves on today or something.
Probably. I rub my face all the time. That's why
you give yourself a black eye.
Yeah, or a big streak down my nose or something like that.
For funny, that's the one thing I noticed.
No,
I was like, what the fuck? Like, the first thing to be fair I thought was, he's had oil in his face or something.
But like, you come to that conclusion because you were knowing he's probably going to be welding or something. But like, yeah,
I'm surprised you haven't got black hair. But then again,
I had a shower.
Oh, fair
Like
enough.
literally, I had a clean after having my shower.
Because you don't know what gloves are.
Yeah, I don't like wearing gloves.
Why?
Don't like the feel of them.
Fair enough. But on that note, thanks very much for listening. We are at Limited Slip Differences on all socials. Check out TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You know the works. If you haven't seen the top 16 video from King of the Cone, work away at it. On YouTube, don't be afraid to like and subscribe and comment. We read all the comments.
You read all the comments. No, I've started replying to the comments actually as well. But normally I end up doing it on my own account.
Yeah. And on Spotify, don't be afraid to leave a nice review and subscribe.
We've actually got quite a lot of good reviews on Spotify. Like,
I can't get on to find out what people have said because there's been like, you know, a question thing on it. And at the start, 25 episodes in, we were like, people have wrote stuff in this.
and that was the last time we looked at it.
Yeah,
Now
well,
we're
I
on
tried to log
episode
into
39.
it, but I couldn't log into it for whatever reason. But yes,
How do you think we'll be coming up to our 50th episode soon?
be brave, sure it's nowhere 20 weeks away.
We're closer to our 50th episode than we were to our 29th. Or to
You know what I was
25th?
actually thinking there, just on the very last note? This has actually come some fucking way from that fucking night that we did episode 1. Like, it has come...
Funny, that's actually I meant to talk to you about as well. Just
has
you
actually-
brought that round.
Like, yes, obviously... Like, I listened to the fucking intro from the first one, it's like, yes,
That's all you can hear.
but it's not
The
even
audio
that.
quality was super.
It's like, oh, welcome to the Limited Slip Differences, or LSD for short, podcast, where we talk about all things from the local car scene in Northern Ireland. No, let's carry on. In Ireland, as well as some traders, and we might even talk about lorries on
I've
occasion
never
too.
talked about lorries ever again.
And then, I think it was like 3 episodes in, you're like, yeah, I seen a lorry at Cookstown. And it was tidy. But
I put a poll up or a post up on Snapchat there.
And see all the old ones actually whenever you look on YouTube. People are still listening to them.
Oh yeah, because a lot of people start at the start and
Like
they
there's
follow.
some change from...
But a lot of people were saying, so I posted this up and I had said, I was saying, because the original plan was we were never meant to move here. I was going to put a loft conversion down in the shed. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, well, then we talked about moving to the milking parlour, and Mum was like, if you've any guests on, they will get suffocated with slurry gases, which I still think she was
The
chatting
dairy of the
shit.
milking parlour, so actually where the tank room was.
Yeah, so where the old tank was and got the whole place sealed up, and that would have been quite a good studio, and it's got good lighting and all on it, so it would have worked out quite well. But anyway, Mum was like, no, you'll literally kill all your
So we ended
guests
up
with
here.
methane poison. I went, okay, well then here would be a good idea. Here would be a good place. It's the old workshop. We'll clear it out. And
We did.
yeah, so, and then because we parked the cars down the other side. But a lot of people have recently said, whenever I put up that post, they were like, well, they actually quite like the old setup where we were sitting in front of a car and it was a bit more raw. And even at the time, people had said that to me. They're like, oh, it's like you could literally return. It felt like you could turn around and just reach for a spanner. And that's been kind of lost since we've moved up here. Because now they're like, there's a few people have said, well, anybody can record in their room, but you were recording in a shed. And the only thing I would say is in here, we have a far better sound quality.
I think that's because we just upgraded stuff.
There's no echo in here, but not the same as what the other shed was.
Fair enough.
But I do like the idea of going back down. But then if we're down there, eventually we'll outgrow that setup. Well, not maybe the podcast setup, but then the lift would probably end up coming to where we're sitting now. Because if there's cars down there and maybe like we end up putting like storing merch and stuff down there, you can't be welding in the middle of that.
No. Like it's funny, there's a room in my house is just merch.
Well, that being said, if there's been people on to me looking merch, we need to get that out to them. Like,
Yeah. But so on that note, we've got better at this, but I suppose that would only be fucking natural.
I'd like to think we've made some. Don't get me wrong, we've made
Like the
some bad decisions too. Like
the first one we were like, I wonder will this ever go anywhere? And then in episode 10 we're like, did you ever think it was going to get 10 episodes.
Then Farmflex in episode 12. Then it was people that we'd
Then it was like, here, we need to throw money at this because we've got fucking no equipment.
And then even now, like standing in front of someone like Maura Faye, you know, and she's literally chatting to you about your podcast, and it's like,
Or even going to the likes of King of the Cone and being in the arena.
because of the podcast.
Or going on the pole.
Because of the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, aye.
So on
Like
that positive note, we'll round off.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks very much. Best of luck.
Now we're going to go to bed.